on, everybody? It's your buddy, it's your pal Spaz Phoenix, the YWC Reality Check. This is 3 previews in 1, and welcome to 2026. And that is Jake fucking DeMarco. What's going on, buddy?
Oh, yeah. We're here to kick it off right. I am super excited and cannot wait for next week. We've got so much that we were thankful for. Then Christmas came, and I'm still upset with Santa, that jolly old bastard. I wanted some more gifts, and I think we're going to get them.
We did the festive rumble over on the Wrestling for Life guys chat. Shout out to those guys.
Indeed.
But yeah,
Santa did give us gifts. It's January 5th, and then January 6th. Yeah, because it's New Year's Evil.
January 2nd,
I'm so excited.
I
know.
Anyways,
what happens before then?
If I line things up appropriately, you should be watching this or listening to this. If you're joining us live, thank you very much. You should be joining us the first 15 minutes into your new year. So hope you've rung all your bells and clapped all your pots and screwed all your hookers and done all the New Year's things just in time to sit down and join us for a little bit. If you're in the chat, if you're coming over from either Jake's community or from the Wrestling for Life community or anybody else out there that's just looking for something to watch.
Oh, boy.
Now that the ball has dropped, thanks for joining us. We're going to talk about...
Are you sure I'm still going to be conscious? I'm sorry to cut you off, but I don't know. 12:15. I might not be holding myself together at that point, so I apologize for whatever state you
just get out the money
in.
and get somebody else to hold you.
Yeah, there we go.
We're going to talk about 3-hour Smackdown coming back. We're going to talk about the Raw anniversary on Netflix. We're going to talk about NXT New Year's Evil, which I'm going to say right off the bat, hot take. New Year's Evil should be a pay-per-view, but we'll get there when we get there.
Thank you.
I do want to talk about one small thing, first of all, and this is me kind of not being tribal for once, because this is kind of an AEW related thing, but
you piqued my interest.
I'm a pretty opinionated person. Jake, you're a pretty opinionated person. We have some fun conversations.
What?
In the time that you've known me, is there anybody that I have done a bigger turnaround on than Kenny Omega?
Actually, no, that is a fantastic point. And I use this word far too often, ingratiate, but it is true. He managed and found a way to I hate to say get on our level, but you understand what I'm saying? Like it was like we understand each other kind of thing.
Won us over a little bit.
Yes.
I think truly, and this is me saying this as a WWE guy, I don't think there's anybody on either side of the line that's doing more to sort of, I don't know what the word is, sort of negate the tribalism.
Yes, to
obviously there's individual
diminish in a way, like he's trying to not throw gas on that fire. Yeah. He's trying to make it, he's putting on some retarded.
Yeah, like anybody on his level anyway. Like I know that there's like super positive YouTubers out there like a Simon Miller or Good Mike Work before he got a little weird. Our friends over at the Wrestling for Life Network are kind of the same way. They're pretty fair. They're pretty honest, but they're pretty fair. I'm definitely biased. We've definitely got our biases on this channel.
Absolutely.
But I think Kenny Omega, as far as somebody like, from inside the belly of the beast, so to speak, is probably one of the outspoken, like swat down the tribalism type of guys. And that's a big part of like what's won me over. Because when I first started getting to know who he was, I thought he was a really ignorant prick.
Yeah.
I really did. I thought he was like sarcastic, but not in the way that works.
I totally
agree.
Well,
if he makes you feel that way, like it's like I thought he was like, and it's just the more I hear, the more I see, and obviously I enjoy watching him in the ring, and plus, you hear about the stuff that he's going through personally and whatever, and that sort of shades it a little bit with a little bit of sympathy.
But you nailed it as well. Like that's the evidence we were given lined up with what we were hearing, so and it was hard to split the kayfabe from reality at times with him because of not dedication, but I want to almost say language barrier in Japan for
or like, and I'll put it on myself. It may be a little bit of like, am I looking for the real answer in the wrong place type of stuff, which is something I'm guilty of. So with that in mind, with the turnaround that I've done on Kenny Omega in mind, we are going to talk about one particular tribalistic issue, and mostly it's an accusation that's thrown at WWE fans talking about AEW product, and it's the whole idea of concern trolling.
Yes.
The idea being, if you watch an AEW show and you see somebody almost break their fucking neck and your reaction is, ugh, wish maybe they hadn't done that, maybe they wouldn't like have a broken neck now.
Yeah.
then you're not really concerned about the wrestler. You're just trying to use that wrestler's potential injury against the
I'm
company.
offended for you, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm on
Yeah.
your behalf. Like, I always found that weird with a lot of racism
Yeah.
topics where you'd see someone,
Yeah.
particularly white,
I
go to
I'll
somebody and be
tell
like,
you why you should be offended type
"Yeah,
thing.
exactly. You nailed it, good sir."
Because here's my
I
thing,
find that
right?
to be
Like if
worse
I
than somebody just being blatantly racist,
Oh, of course,
honestly.
yeah, because it's like you've taken somebody else's perceived bad experience and made it about you, which is entirely shit.
Exactly.
Whereas most people, and I mean there's the odd person that makes the concern trolling an actual thing. Like the amount of people still today that I have seen on Twitter showing spots from the Cody Rhodes Kevin Owens street fight where he went headfirst through the ladder.
Yeah.
And it's like you just want a dig at WWE, and
And
that's fine.
and
But like
he
the
scripted that. It wasn't like anybody forced him to, or that
Exactly.
was his choice.
But
And
I
for all
think
the
the
unsafe
difference is
shit they do, like, come
but
on.
I think all the difference is, like, I think even if Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes planned out that spot, we can say objectively, "Okay, it's very cool that they got to plan out that spot. Maybe somebody should have stepped in and said, maybe that's not the thing." Maybe they needed somebody that was gonna say, "No, we're not gonna put you through the glass,"
Yeah.
so to speak, right? So the whole idea that if you point out something potentially dangerous on AEW, you don't really care about anybody's well-being, you just wanna dig at the company. That cannon got aimed at William Regal, because of course William
Yeah.
Regal can't just have the wrestler isn't a wrestler himself and knows what can happen, and he wants, people to not be dead.
No, he's
And he
being
came out
selfish and,
Yeah, of
attacking
course,
others,
of
and he's
course.
just putting everybody down. He doesn't get the style, but he's not wrong. People don't know the difference between, a brain buster and a suplex at times. They're not gonna but
It's
one's
fed.
so much more dangerous, and when you go back, I don't know what got me going down this rabbit hole, and I won't detour us long, but this is
No.
important for me for one reason. Like, I know what got me on the detour. Jim Cornette was talking about his schedule from 1984.
Mm.
And fast and loose of it basically is they went like 300 miles in a day and a half between
Yeah,
here to there, back again. And then they had to do, and all right, next day was 400 miles all over. Then it was
and they're
500.
run ragged.
And he was like, the schedule was the most grueling part. The money was great, and back then he's talking about good money, making $250 for them to split. So yeah, in today's money, that's like $750 to $900. You got to times
Yeah.
it by 3. But it showed like now they're wrestling only once a week, so their bodies aren't calloused as they are. You know what I mean? Like you didn't see guys get a lot of injuries back then like you do today. Like like Magnum TA had to be hit with a goddamn car accident in order to keep him down.
Yeah.
That's what it
Oh,
took
yeah, the
back
whole the
then.
whole old the whole old mentality of, "Oh, are you injured or are you hurt?" Because
Yes. Are you
somebody
gonna
didn't want to
finish
admit
the
that they were hurt
match?
because they were gonna lose their spot, whatever. But
Yeah.
I just and this is where I'm tying it back to Kenny Omega because I think it's the most amazing example of just, like, seeing people on his own like, this is where I gotta give him credit, on his own side, like, on the AEW side, so to speak, and just sort of, like, not swatting down his fans, but swatting down the, like, "Guys, what
Mhm.
the fuck are we doing?" So
Yes.
the quote from Regal was and Regal's pretty outspoken. Like, we know he has the
But this
like,
is
he
so
doesn't Yeah,
eloquently put. He did an
but
amazing
he
job here.
he does. But
So,
he d but Regal's one of those ones where it's like, he doesn't take himself too seriously. He's like, "I've got some stuff to say. Sometimes people are gonna listen. That's fine." Like, I'm gonna say stuff, you don't have to listen. But what he said, and I'm sorry, it's being paraphrased by our friends over at No DQ, so if I'm missing some context here, then somebody's gonna have to correct me. But basically, what it says is, "Most of you doing this stupid shit aren't going to listen to me, but hopefully a few of you will. Stop it now if you want a decent quality of life after wrestling, because that part of your life will be over before you know it." Pretty fair.
absolutely.
Like,
I know from
people are gonna react
experience, I'm always in
Mhm,
in horrific pain. My neck is fused from, C1
mhm.
to 4. I have limited mobility. I have so many issues, and I didn't wrestle,
And it's
It's like,
insane, yeah. And
yeah.
it's that whole, like, it can be taken from you like that. Now, leading off with, like I know some people on the other side of me, like, well, leading off with, "Oh, you guys are being stupid," is not the it's not like, would I say maybe it's not necessarily the best way to attack the thing? Maybe. Um, Maybe just go into, like, the, "Hey, this is what could happen, be careful, I want everybody to be okay," type of thing. But, you gotta write something in caps at the beginning for everybody to pay attention. So, he did it in sort of like the blunt William Regal way, or the William Regal, like, fashion that we're used to, because as I say, like, I don't think he expects that the world is listening. He's putting it out there for anybody that is. The response from Kenny Omega, right?
Yeah.
And it's 3 paragraphs, so you guys are gonna have to bear with me because I suck at reading live. Regardless of the timing or the perceived intent, the general message from William Regal remains a positive one. Tribalism, whataboutism, and other isms aren't needed here.
Bam.
Safety often takes a backseat when a wrestler is locked in and actively chasing the dragon. Cool little pun there. We all need sometimes we all need a voice from afar to tether us back to reality and tell us that all of our risks have consequences. The odds aren't in our favor, and none of us are going to walk away from this unscathed. This isn't a company versus company or wrestler versus wrestler thing. This is about a general awareness and knowing what the cost of what we do is directly related to the amount of severity and the amount of risks that we take. Keeping that in mind, as athletes, we aren't all created equally. As responsible adults, we need to realistically know our own physical limits. I'd have to give my head a shake if I ever tried a twisting shooting star press, but I would never say a word to Pac. Also a good point.
Very true.
I look at this all as great food for thought, something we should all be cognizant of at all times, and this is not a competition. Thank you, Mr. Regal.
And Kenny worked with
That
him several times. I'm not
Yeah.
talking wrestling. I'm talking like, behind the scenes. And he said that's one of the things he was most upset about was losing Regal at one point, I believe was the quote, if I
Mm,
remember directly, because of the connection that they were bonding over. And he
mm,
was like, so you don't know what's true with backstage rumors and all that.
mm,
But I could see why he mattered so much to everyone because even through the car accident that he hid with a broken neck, he still knew how to take care of
mm,
himself in the best way possible. But he
mm.
never, ever went out there. Yeah, everybody's had bad matches. But what I'm saying is, he didn't have a bad match. You get my point? It was like,
Yeah.
and he was a rare one to ever not. You know who I feel like most guilty for, and this would be a great topic. I'm sorry, off the top of my head, for you and I to
Yep.
discuss at some point. But wrestlers that maybe later in life didn't quite get their full flowers, but it was something. But
Mm.
I'm
Oh,
curious of
Regal for
like
sure.
Regal's definitely up there, and there's definitely some talking points for him. But there's quite a few, and Jane. No, that could have been, but I'm thinking more like Stevie Richards was one that I felt like had a
Yep.
ton of potential. They did nothing of note with. He pushed everything himself, and they just were like, "Why are
And
you
he's another
here?"
one that comes out and like, you know what? I don't agree with everything Steven Richards says. Maven's another one.
Yep,
I don't agree with anything that any of these guys are saying, but like every
they're
single like
entertaining, and
not even that, but like every single fan out there that's like, "Oh, well, you shouldn't have an opinion or whether you're not in the business." Well, they were in the business. Well, they
Ye
weren't main eventers. Okay, it doesn't mean they weren't doing the same stuff.
exactly.
Like Maven worked with The Undertaker. Like, what are we doing here? Steven
They
Richards
forget
worked
that
with
though
just
quick,
about
huh?
everybody. Regal worked with Triple H. Regal is credited by Triple H for a lot of stuff. And oh, you're not allowed to like Triple H because sometimes he works in the White House and we don't like the other guy that's there right now. Fuck off.
Let's let the
Like,
plane crash because we don't like our pilot. Yeah.
I'm sorry. The this is side to the topic, and I wasn't really gonna hop on this. Triple H out there outside the White House, just with his little like 20-second clip is like talking to kids. Don't run yourself into the ground over the holidays, but try to find something fun to stay active, go for a walk, do something. And
Yeah.
everybody underneath being like, isn't this the guy that did a bunch of steroids and has a pacemaker now? And it's like, yeah, don't you think he has a lot of cautionary tales to tell other people?
Yeah, especially children being like, "It's not worth it. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Like, you need to be what's
Well, like,
good
yeah,
for
like he's doing
you."
it for
And
kids, but like anybody, like
no, yeah, I'm just saying
I'm
like that should be like a main reason, and then everything else
yeah,
is just bonus. If I was
but
to
like you like I hate to use this because it's a terrible, horrible, very, very much more real example, but you know who knows how to help a drug addict? Former drug
drug
addict.
addict. Yeah.
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 Like somebody who's done terrible things to their own health can put their hand up in the air as long as they're not saying, "Hey, I know all the answers," but they do put their hand up in the air and say, "Hey, I did this and it fucked me up. Don't do this." Like,
It's
what are we
pretty
doing?
you have to be there to get it, and that's exactly it, and that's why the
It's
wrestlers
the
talking to wrestlers is the best way to handle it. That's how it
Of
should
course,
be,
yeah.
and we know this from
You
experience
can get
from
your advice from anybody. I'm just saying, like, one of the biggest toxic examples is you hate Triple H, you hate WWE, and probably hate the other guy in the White House so much that you're shitting on the message that, "Hey, encourage your kids to get active." Where on the other side of the coin, bringing it back to the point and where I continue to be impressed and re-impressed by Kenny Omega is not only is he showing his own respect across the board, across company lines, whatever you want to say, but also just this without telling any fan, like he's not pointing at fans and saying stop being dickheads. Just
Yeah,
being like,
no, he's
hey
just
guys,
being like,
there's more than what you're talking about
yeah,
here.
take a different
Like
route. Try getting some oxygen outside.
I'm seeing I probably went to a show like apparently at World's End. I didn't pay attention to most of World's End because the show itself was shit. Apparently there's a couple dings and mild
Digs,
not
yeah.
injuries but like situations coming out of that.
Yeah.
Like Kenny Omega, who's got his own issues to deal with, never mind, has probably come out of that show and said, "Oh, okay, here are all my friends and coworkers, and I saw them get injured, and them get injured, and them get injured. And here's
Yeah.
somebody over here that I respect a lot saying, I really wish we didn't see so many people get injured and getting shit on for that take. Guys,
Yeah,
it's
no
bigger than
shit.
that."
Yeah, exactly.
So it sounds like I'm bringing up a really negative topic, but I just wanted to shine a light. Kenny Omega is like the biggest fly swatter for tribalism in the whole WWE AEW thing, which is interesting when we talk about, and we're not going to talk about it tonight, but we will talk about it soon.
Aw.
That fight for number 2 is going to be a huge thing in 2026.
Yeah, oh,
Because
absolutely, because
and it's
TNA
not
and
me wishing doom and gloom on AEW, but
no,
like
certainly not, but
look at the sales for Dynamite tonight because they are actually doing a Dynamite New Year's bash, smash, whatever it is. Look at the sales for the tickets for tonight versus the tickets for the first AMC episode of Impact. And there's a I think 1,000 maybe 1,100 seat gap in favor of TNA.
yeah,
So
which is crazy when you really think about what that means, you know?
yeah. Apparently, somebody from backstage in TNA did an interview recently and spilled the beans on what CM
Uh-oh.
Punk's creative would have been if he had decided to go to TNA after he left AEW. So I'm really curious to see what that's about. Haven't had a chance to watch it yet or read up on it just yet, but interesting.
Yeah, very
I
interesting. Absolutely.
like CM Punk's a lightning rod for better and for worse. So
It's
what
either
would
gonna
that
be
show
good
have
or it's gonna
what
be
would that show
bad.
have looked like? What would that show have looked like? Like, imagine the first episode, like, they do work with WWE. If somebody has an open challenge, like, TNA
Yeah.
champion right now is, who the fuck's the TNA champion right now? That's terrible.
Uh, uh,
Oh, it's Kaz.
Kaz
If
Kazarian.
If Kaz does an episode of the
I
King's Speech and ends it with an open challenge, and the
keep
open
wanting to say
challenge
it's
is answered by
Namath.
yeah, it's not. But if Kaz did an open challenge and it was answered by CM Punk on the first ever episode of AMC Impact, and that's
Mm,
2 days before their Genesis pay-per-view, you're gonna get buzz around TNA. It's
yeah,
gonna happen.
massive.
But,
How could you not? And people are like, "Oh, AMC, that's a dead network. They don't." Are you really? They were on
one of the most
Pop
popular
and
TV shows.
Destination of all
Yeah,
time have come out multiple, not just 2, multiple. Mad Men, The Walking Dead,
yeah,
obviously, Better Call Saul,
yep,
Breaking Bad again.
yep. I will say,
All of it
like,
has been
I won't lie, it fell off at the end,
yeah,
like Walking Dead, but it spun off like 3 other separate series, and when it was the thing, it was the thing. Like, AMC got their
abso-freaking-lutely.
hands on several properties that were the thing,
They knew
and,
what they were doing for a long time, and then they let their ego and hubris take advantage of their
yeah,
desire
fair.
to do storytelling, and it's like, "Guys, you are doing story, like, do you not realize what you're just continue the story that you" oh god, they're ruining it, aren't they? Yep, they are.
Yep.
Like, and that's exactly
Well,
how it went
I know
down.
I know you're not caught up on, Stranger Things yet, but I will say for
I
those of
know,
you out
right?
there that know what I'm talking about, there's one
Taboo.
thing this season that absolutely ruined everything, and you're right,
Oh,
for
I
the
already
wrong
know.
reasons.
I
You're right for
I
the wrong reasons.
I had heard about this before it even came out this
We
season.
will we will talk about it once you've
Yeah.
seen it because
Oh,
there's a lot of
I watched the
conversation.
scene now. I saw it play out because
Okay.
I had to
When you
when
see
I
it
get it
in
in
full
full
context
context,
when
yes.
you see it in full context, we
Then
will
we'll
have a
we'll
conversation about that. We will have a
absolutely.
definitely not wrestling podcast one day, and we will do all of that. But,
But it was funny how
yeah,
that happened because it wasn't shared as a Stranger Things, video or anything. It was
yeah,
just and then I was like, "Oh," and by the time I realized like,
yep,
"Oh, that is Will, isn't it, huh?" Like, it was like, "Yeah,
yeah,
too late. You've seen
yep,
it all.
yep, yep,
You have
yep,
seen it
yep.
all.
Yeah,
Into
I
the
just
belly of
think,
the beast you go."
Beast has a big belly. Spaz has a big belly. It's Christmas time. Anyways, but getting back to the point, yes, the battle for number 2 will be a significant talking point as we go into 2026, or as we are now in 2026, as you guys are all listening to this right now. But really, the whole point of that was to just give huge credit and praise from my direction for Kenny Omega for taking on the arduous task of actually trying to squash the tribalism that I think he knows is mostly coming from his side. Now
Yeah,
let's hop back
absolutely.
onto our side. Um, and we talked about this already, but I want to say it again. We're going to start with SmackDown this week because I know they're going to make the big SmackDown next week because it's the WWE week 1 or whatever, but the new
Yeah.
year is in the middle of the week, so the first episode of SmackDown 2026 is going to be the first show we see, and we're jumping back to 3 hours. I don't mind.
I'm
I
excited for
really
the
don't.
3-hour change. You know why? Because
Mm,
everyone told me I was crazy, but I said, "It's gonna hurt when they go to 2 hours." "No, it's too much TV." And I took your approach after a while, being like, "You know, if you could
mm,
make a good show at 2, you can make it at 3, vice
yep,
versa." And
yep,
you know what happened? They needed that little bit of extra time because it's not that much. It's 40
mm,
minutes. You figure you get, 40, 20, roughly, you get 30, what, 18 minutes of commercials every hour? So 42
yep,
minutes. So it's an extra 45 minutes essentially. And that's important because that was how they built the tag division. That was how they went ahead and established, the mid card for the women. That's how we got that awesome Chelsea Green feud where she ended up coming out of a trash can. Like these things mattered
mhm,
because they could make time for them to happen. And that's when character work
mm.
really took over because people then had a chance to shine exactly who the fuck they are. Because we didn't see these people before
And it
then.
can go the other way, right? Like, when Monday was a solid 3 hours, and then you had Mondays that were, like, 3 hours plus, like, a 10-minute overrun and whatever,
Yeah.
you can utilize that time, and you can build up a lot more people, you can tell a lot more stories, which is gonna clue into something that I'm gonna say in a second. Or you can do the same amount of stuff and just stick in enough filler to fill an extra hour.
Yeah, you run
Is
into
there
the
now,
bloat, yes.
is there a possibility that they do that? Yes, absolutely, I will acknowledge that, but I think because they know Friday's a bigger fight than Monday,
Yeah,
in the sense of nobody's really rushing out to do anything on a Monday. If you've got anybody that works or goes to school, like the typical Monday to Friday 9 to 5,
yes.
you
You have to
don't have
fight
as
for their
many
attention, yeah.
you don't have any you don't have as many plans on a Monday night as you do on a Friday. Friday, you're competing with
Exactly, and it's
Friday
Friday.
plans. Friday, you're competing with the beginning of the weekend.
Yeah, you're Friday at
Um,
8 instead of, like, because Monday Raw, 8 p.m., alright, what are you doing? You're getting in bed, you're getting ready for work the next day or school or what the hell ever, but you're not, like you said, usually ever out and about. So this is, difficult for them to capture that
yeah.
full-on market. Then being on USA, then it was Fox, then back to USA. Like, things just got needlessly confusing. People were like, "Wait, where is it on now?" So that didn't help issues.
I'm
I
not
feel
gonna
like,
lie,
you
and
know
nobody's gonna believe me about this because they think I've got so much hate for AEW. I really
yeah.
don't. I just wish they were good.
I just wish they were
Um,
better. I miss them being
but
entertaining.
push AEW out of the equation for a second. Like, think about like pre AEW. I miss the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday block when it used to be like Monday, Raw, Tuesday SmackDown, Wednesday NXT.
Yes.
Now, you would have to do it the other way around because NXT is now on Tuesdays. But like Raw NXT SmackDown Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday
Yeah.
would be better. And then you
Would be
got
so
something a
much
little bit
better.
then you got then the your tail end of the week, your most exciting, potentially the most exciting night of the week would be Thursday with a new revitalized TNA getting a proper TV deal and a proper push and all that kind of thing and everything they're going to try and do to make that as big as they can. But Friday is always going to be a struggle. We've said the same thing forever about the Friday TNA pay-per-views that
Yes.
have that B-level pay-per-view feeling like almost by default because they're on Friday, because they're competing with SmackDown, because it's not actually on the weekend. Um, I don't think they're going to change days. If they did change to Wednesday, it would be really funny.
It would be, but
Uh, 3 hours, fine. 3 hours, they're obviously going to bring in a lot of people. Um, We've teased Javon Evans coming up to one of the brands. We've teased Trick Williams coming
Obafemi,
up to one of the brands. Obafemi.
Obafemi's getting his own freaking hype packages left and right, which is awesome. He was on
Yeah,
SmackDown and again on Raw.
I'll talk about that because it's good and kinda dumb, but we'll get there when we get there.
Yes.
Um,
I'm just
there
excited. I
Oh, yeah.
really I've got, like,
Oh,
a
yeah.
good feeling with the NXT call-ups might be what we need for a bit to it's not gonna fix anything
Yeah.
permanently, but it might give us enough to, satiate that hunger for a little bit because now there'll be some at least something fresh in a way. There's gonna be, people that haven't
I think
faced off and
I think Jordan Grace to SmackDown because Jordan Grace, Jade Cargill would be interesting.
yes.
Because okay, I want them both individually to feud with Rhea Ripley. Obviously, that won't surprise anybody. I'm a big Rhea Ripley fan. It is what it
What?
is. But both of them
No. You?
facing each other. Jade Cargill, we nabbed one from TNA. We grabbed one from AEW, and Rhea Ripley's basically a WWE like bottom up wrestler. Um, you can have like a total fake battle of the brands, whatever you want to say. But no, Jade Cargill and Jordan Grace in the interim before we get to whichever one of them gets that bigger match.
Yeah.
100%. Jade Cargill
Exactly.
is number one with a bullet. A
With
lot
a
of people
name
say
on it?
JCJ. A lot of people say JC Jane, but I'm gonna go like slightly to the side of JC Jane. I hope we get Fallon Henley.
I imagine we were getting both, but from what I
I
had
would
last
imagine that
heard,
we're
Fallon
yeah,
Henley was supposedly being moved up as well as, no word on Laney Reed, but
yeah. I think
I don't imagine
the
she'd
more
be
like
going up.
yeah. I think the more likely thing is they move them up as a group and hopefully Lainey Reed steps up to the plate and first night hits it out of the park. Could be a
Yeah,
thing. We don't have Jasmine Nix anymore. We know what happened there. As a group, they could come
sadly.
up individual like if we're gonna pick one, JC Jane is so at home at the tippy top spot of NXT. Let Fallon Henley leapfrog her and see what she can do
Yeah,
on NXT. Maybe get in there with Fallon Henley if she went because not everybody's gonna know because not everybody watches NXT, even though they should.
yeah.
But if she were to separate herself from JC Jane and go back babyface, I think she'd be a fantastic foil for Chelsea Green.
Well, here's my question though, and you're
Mm.
not I agree with that, yes, absolutely with Chelsea Green. So here's my thing though, I feel like J.C. Jane's time is very limited in NXT now. Yeah, I
Oh, I
feel like
know.
that's so
Oh, I
her
I
not
know she
going up
is, like, she's more ready to go up, don't get me
yes,
wrong,
I understand
I
what you
think
mean,
Fallon
but
Henley was awesome, and she's been awesome in the group with JC Jane,
yeah.
but I think she's slid very well, mind you, into that, like, sidekick,
Yeah, when she was essentially the
type of
leader
spot, yeah.
for all of it, as we thought, like, that's how
Yeah.
she presented herself anyways, as the
Well, just
leader
get
of
just
the
get the just
faction.
get the bar rescue team back together because 'cause they're all doing great things individually. One of them's invading
Yeah, they're
TNA,
killing it.
one of them is, just, has got
There.
Undertaker's face on his shoulder.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
because
cough
that's
again.
normal. That's
Oh,
not,
sorry, guys.
not
But
you, I'm
yeah,
saying that's not normal with the Undertaker tattoo. He's not
we're
happy.
good. No, not the
I don't
tattoo,
like that shit.
the big skull thing that he's got on his jacket, the with the smoking eyes,
Yeah,
but it's only on one side. It looks like he's got, who was,
Undertaker.
uh, who was Canyon when he was under the mask? Mortis?
Yeah,
Looks like
yes, I
he's got
believe so.
Mortis on
Mortis.
one shoulder.
That was
Um,
my gimmick, boy.
so yeah, we're gonna get an influx from NXT. They're mostly gonna go to SmackDown because SmackDown is the show that's expanding.
Yeah.
Before we get into what's actually announced for the show, we're gonna have immediate reaction to congratulations, Carmelo Hayes being the new United States champion.
Yeah. How awesome is that? I mean, who
I
deserves
was
it
really
more than
bummed that they
him?
put that on a pre-taped show. Like I know you
Yeah.
got to put something on there, but like, damn,
I
man.
wish they held it off for this week. Like, why not do it on the
Yeah.
3 hour? Why spoil that? I can't surmise one logical reason as to why they did it that way.
Nah.
Like, it doesn't benefit
I do
anything.
the thing
Unless it
about
was
it
like a
is,
network request. Like, USA is like, "Oh, we want a title change." Like, can they do
yeah,
that?
the
I mean,
thing about
God
it is,
knows.
I don't like it, but I can see a reasoning where they've looked at it and they've said, "Look, these are pre-taped shows. The results are gonna get out. Let's put something fun on there that people will already know about, but they're behind Carmelo, so they'll still be excited to see it." So that it
Ooh.
didn't feel like, okay, they're all pre-taped shows. We're just gonna take a break for 3 weeks
Yeah,
because
you're
that
kinda
doesn't
right. It
help
makes people
anybody.
wanna tune in to watch it. I mean, that is
Yeah.
true. It's
Even
psychology
if
101,
because
but
they used to say that with NXT all the time. Like when NXT, like old school black and gold NXT was taped in blocks, kind of like
yeah.
Impact is. They would put one or two things in there. And the whole idea was, yeah, you're gonna know that it happened, but you're still gonna want to see it happen. Because here's the thing that I'll say about WWE in the past couple of years, and it's one of the few things they've actually gotten the credit they deserve for. They used to work Christmas Day. They used to do a Raw or a SmackDown or a whatever on Christmas Day if that was what the day landed on. And they've gone
Yep,
back to this.
I remember
We're gonna
that.
give people their time. We're gonna give people more than a day for Christmas. So they tape like they double and triple tape some shows, put some stuff in the can. People can go do their proper stuff. And it's an amazing move. I don't want to create a situation where those shows are so nothing that the ratings tank and they have to pull that whole idea back.
Yeah, no kidding, but
Because the network's going to say like, hey, we pay you to do something every week. We'd like to get your ratings every week.
yeah, exactly.
Um,
So, I mean,
so Carmelo Hayes winning the title. Now he's going to go on a run. I don't know because Cena did it, then Sammy did it, then Ilya did it. Are they going to just keep passing on the United States Open Challenge because it's gone from face to face to face?
yeah,
And all the time in the background,
that's how it
Tama Tonga's
feels.
been like, yeah, 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 in the
Yeah, yeah,
background,
yeah,
but he
yeah, yeah,
hasn't
yeah.
like he never came out to answer any of those open challenges. Like you could have done the thing.
Mhm.
Um, so that's my prediction.
There's a lot that
Also,
didn't make a great deal of sense with it, like
yeah,
and I'm not trying to nitpick on silly things like you said, but,
no, no,
eh, you mentioned earlier,
nitpick
like,
us,
never. But I just kind of feel bent out
never.
of shape when, like you said, if you're gonna make it tape, fine, but, like, it didn't feel like he deserved it to be a tape moment. This
Yeah,
this upcoming SmackDown, they've only got 3 matches announced that I see from Buffalo so far, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
They've got a 8-woman tag and a singles ladies match and a singles men's match. But before we get into that, I
Yes.
will flash forward to what we're getting the following week, which is Cody and Drew, 3 stages of hell for the WWE Championship
On SmackDown.
on SmackDown. You know what?
I'm not against
Got to
it.
do. You got to do, and this is like it's not quite the same as the taped conversation, but it is a conversation that comes up a lot. You watch a long ass pay-per-view. Oh, that could have been on TV. And then you put it on TV and then it's really good. And then, oh, why didn't you save that for the pay-per-view? Well,
Yeah,
we need to get people to watch weekly TV as well.
exactly, and there's no perfect answer, there's no appeasing everybody, so they really have to
I'm sorry,
just
there was a lot on World's End that could have been an email, if you get my drift.
No, I know, and we
The
we were
mixed
there.
nuts match.
I know. We were so defeated that night, Cody and I, because it just kept going and going and going. The tournament with the
I,
Moxley win,
I
and
fell
it's
asleep
so
during the main
late.
event.
The
I
main
fell
event
asleep
was the highlight
during
of
the
the
main
night
event.
for me. I don't
It
blame you.
was. And this is the thing. Like, I don't want to, okay. I don't want to take anything away from 3 of the 4 guys in that match.
No,
Hangman Page can
certainly,
go
but
fuck off. But I'm a big MJF guy. I do think it's hysterical that AEW has basically come up with a theory now of in case of boredom, in case of creative ineptitude, break glass,
yes,
MJF.
basically.
Because Samoa Joe,
He's like,
like,
"Oh,
and
I have."
it's crazy that I'm saying this as he was the most recent former champion. He wasn't treated like a champion when he was champion, and he's a heel, but he
Yeah.
still was a champ. Swerve, I don't know what the fuck they've done to his music. Swerve is another guy. I'm not putting him on my like top shelf, but I don't nearly find him as abrasive as I used to, is a nice way to say it.
Yeah, he doesn't
Hangman
have the
Page can
same
fuck
factor,
off.
like he used to.
Hangman
Hangman
Page can fuck off.
feels shallow, like, just the mask slipped a long time ago, and we can
It's
see.
so forced.
Yeah,
People
thank
that
you.
complain, people that complain about Charlotte Flair, people that complain about babyface Roman Reigns, people that complain about babyface John Cena when he was a full-timer, people that complain about Triple H's so-called reign of terror,
Yeah.
and then get on the cock of friggin' Hangman Page.
And
Just
see,
stay
I
you're
do
sucking the
complain
initials.
I do complain about the fucking oh god, the Reign of Terror was so bad back in the day. But I
Not
also
nearly as bad as some of the stuff they're doing in
no,
AEW right
that's what I'm
now.
saying, though. When I go back, rose-tinted glasses kinda helps, but when you actually
This
sit
is the
there
thing.
and
Okay,
watch it
I
all,
brought this
it's
up.
got
I
some
brought
good
this up on
stuff.
another stream the other night, right? Have you seen the stuff about Mercedes Moné now? They're
What's
basically
that?
doing there's basically fans online right now that are doing the "Leave Britney alone"
Like, it doesn't
with
matter if she
Mercedes.
loses kinda thing?
No, it's the
No?
whole, well, she had 14 belts and she dropped 3 of them. Well, she
Yes.
dropped some belts, so you can leave her alone now. And it's like, you guys are still bitching about the Triple H supposed reign of terror in the year of Al Bundy 2025 going into 2026.
It's just
Like, just say,
mind-blowing. What do you have to complain
just
about?
come out. I would have more respect for anybody that came out on Twitter or YouTube or podcast or anything and said, yes, I will just suck the cock of anybody that has AEW on their pay stub. I would
Seems that
respect them
way.
more for at least being honest.
And you know what kills me is, both Cody and I got lit up on Twitter this week again,
Bet you did.
and
Pause.
very unflattering because they were, basically, I forget, we were unsympathetic because how dare we speculate on someone else's, health? And I'm like, because we said Dominic's probably injured, and she's like, no one confirmed that for sure. So how dare you speculate? That's so rude. And they're basically like, we'll make sure they, he hears this. Now we were getting
Okay.
told on to the teacher.
Yes, please go and tell this wrestler that's great that we hope he's not hurt.
I know. Damn,
Yeah.
Spaz, So that's the culture at this point. And I feel like
Yeah.
WWE is just going with the motions of, hey, how do we trend on TikTok right now? Because
Yeah.
I almost feel like NXT dancing is required backstage. I mean, they've got Shawn Michaels shaking his ass all the time for cookies, it looks like.
But okay, here's the thing, and people aren't gonna like me saying this. That's not part of the show.
Exactly what I was getting into. Thank you.
This is not part of the show. If Lola
Until they
Vice
present it that
is
way, yeah.
okay. Okay, but if they do a the top 5 like even because they do it on WWE.com. Like when I
Yes.
go to look for something, it's usually one of the things at the top of the page. But it's at the top of the page because people are looking at it,
Yeah.
right? But here's the thing. If Lola Vice goes and does like a twerking trend on TikTok or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And you don't want to see it, here it is, here it is, here it is. Don't go on TikTok.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's not that hard. What's the thing if
You
the
can block trends now, I
what
guess, too. So
what did there was an interview that came out with Paul Heyman, and he was asked about Jim Cornette, and Jim Cornette
yep.
thinking that ECW ruined professional wrestling.
Mhm.
He's like, who here listens to polka?
Yeah.
And it's like nobody. And then one guy puts his hand up and he says, okay, that guy can fuck off. I'm trying to make a point here. We don't like polka, right? So don't listen to polka.
It's such a classic fucking moment. I love that clip.
Oh,
It's because it's just so true, but so good at the
Heyman
same
shoots
time.
are great.
He knows how to rile
If
people up in the
yeah,
best way possible.
if Jim Cornette doesn't like ECW, then he shouldn't watch ECW. And this is where you get the whole, oh, well, just don't watch AEW, right? And
Yeah.
it's like, but there is good stuff on AEW if they let it
And
happen.
that's the thing. They're not letting anybody
Do you know how to
breathe
do you know how to
with it.
improve? Do you know how to improve any situation in AEW right now? Go
How's
up and down
that?
the card. Go up and down the card of any pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Remove the emo cowboy.
Mhm.
Remove the not so young bucks. Remove Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
Your card is better. Your card will sell.
And you're
And
you're not
WWE, okay,
wrong.
to be fair, WWE and AEW are having a race to the bottom as far as who can book a guy named John to turn babyface for no fucking reason.
Yeah. So
I'm just saying.
here's my last thing about
And
this.
I got more time for Moxley than most people do.
Well, that's what I wanted to get into briefly with you.
Which isn't a lot.
Him winning the Continental was, to me, just a gigantic negative because it does nothing for anybody but self-serving Moxley. And my main point behind my like detrimental nature of everything, like it's working against me, I see it, but it's the fact that they have gone nowhere but in a full circle. Jungle Boy is Jungle Jack, Perry again, you know what I mean? And then they're good guys with him and Luchasaurus, and Orange Cassidy's still putting his hands in his pants, and MJF is still being a dick, but he's our asshole. Like all these, nothing has developed or changed. They had Hangman burn a guy's house down and they hugged. You know, like I know it took time, but the point was like nothing progressed. What
Here's the
growth?
thing, though.
What character development?
Here's the thing, though, where I'll make a difference, and it might be a mild defense. At least MJF went away for a little bit. Now,
Yes,
he
that
was
helps.
brought back. He was brought back in a very in case of emergency, in case of a boring story, break glass. So I'm not defending that part of it, but at least MJF and what
The
people
AJ
love
Lee
about
role.
MJF. Yeah, fair. But at least what he brought back was something that people were still into and not sick of.
Mm,
People were happy to have it back because they did water it down with the whole devil story and the whole stuff with Better Than You, Baby, and all that type of stuff,
yeah.
where he was kind of watered down and he was kind of like PG comedy with Adam Cole for a little bit. Nice to see Adam Cole, I should say, on the kickoff,
No, I agree, but
contributing to the opening panel and all that. Doesn't really tell us where he is health wise, but it's good to see him and be participating sort of in the Big E way, in if I want to use a WWE example. So very cool on that part. But MJF got back on brand, and people wanted him on brand. People wanted him
yeah, that's how they've
this, that, and
requested
the next
him.
thing, right?
Absolutely.
Um, I won't say Orange Cassidy is the highlight of a show for me, but I like they've put him in a certain spot on the card, and I enjoy him. They put him in there with the characters that are a little bit more fun, and I don't have to take it that seriously. Yeah, they were having a bit of a fun match, and they stopped in the middle, and him and Tony Storm were dancing. That doesn't hurt my feeling. Like
No.
that's just a bunch of
But
people
see,
that are having a fun
that
day at
doesn't
work.
bother me. I don't have problems with spots like that whatsoever. My problem
No,
lies in the fact of we have done nothing. At least I
fair.
can say like Roman had this monstrous arc where he was the
I
rejected babyface that then turned into the attempted babyface. And then that failed. And what did he do? He tucked his tail and no, he became back with Heyman. Heyman said, "Let me do this. I'm telling you." And look at that. But you talk
Mhm.
about growth. You talk about he
The
brought
best way to turn
everybody up.
babyface is to turn heel.
Yes, and he brought everybody up with him, and
Mhm,
that is so true. Now they all got either fucked by creative, their own
mhm,
hubris, whatever you want to call it. But Roman, everybody he worked with got over in the sense of on his side. Even Solo he put over. He had a
mhm.
way of doing it, and
There we
then
go.
they
Okay,
fucked
you
it
you
up.
la you landed on it. I wasn't gonna talk about it, but I'm gonna talk about it now.
Go
This
right
whole
ahead.
idea that, oh, ever since the bloodline broke up, Solo really fell off and now he's a goof. No, Solo's found himself where he doesn't take himself quite as seriously. He's not trying to be like the next Roman Reigns. He's got this sort of like Samoan mafia boss that takes himself seriously enough that other people can find it funny.
Yes,
He
but
just
still
he
be
doesn't have any
intimidating. Yeah.
he doesn't have any family ties. He's very blunt about the fact of like, I just went out and found the biggest guys I could so that I could be the little guy standing behind them. And he's not that little a guy either. Like he's found his thing. And there's a weird, like, I don't know how to quite say it. There's a good comedy element to Solo Sokoa now, but I couldn't describe like where it comes from because he's not out there trying to be a funny guy. He's out there trying to be like Vito Corleone, the Samoan, and it's not working, and that's why it works. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like
I
as soon
get
as
it.
he
It's
tried,
perfect.
as soon as he tried to, as soon as they sorry stopped trying to make this Bloodline 2.0,
Mhm.
and it just was going to become whatever it became, and they came back and they sort of he came back and like reintroduced everybody, and they did the war paint thing. And I'm sorry, a visual thing is a visceral thing. Sometimes that's all you need. Um, does JC Mateo kind of look like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man? Yes, but it's fine.
It's
He does.
fine.
He looks like a Roblox.
See, I don't hate the MFTs. I just dislike what they've done with them because they have a cool look. Even the Panda Bear stuff I joke about, like they really do. They have something.
I
Uh
want. Here's the thing, and here's where you're going to roll your eyes at me a whole lot.
huh.
I want the MFTs to be the next ones to go to AAA and take on the crazy carnival.
I don't disagree with that. I bet you
I
it'd be
think
a
that would be a lot of
fucking.
fun.
I mean, GODs. They had crazy
I want.
matches,
Okay, I want to see Psycho Clown versus Solo Sokoa.
right? I mean,
I want to
that's
see
got
his
money written all
reaction.
over it.
I want to see his reaction because you remember, like all the highlight reels that we see now are when the bloodline was firing and where they were all trying to crack each other up, and you see Jay like trying so hard not to crack up in like serious moments with the
Yeah,
Uzi and all that type of thing.
so many times.
I want to see Solo Sokoa try to keep a serious face when Psycho Clown pulls off his face and shows his other face.
His face in a
Like
face in a face.
the best thing, I'm sorry, one of the best things of 2025 is AAA came along. And yes, I say came along because I wasn't watching it before. WWE, the tie-in got me to start watching it. AAA came along and said, "Hey Spaz, guess what? Wrestling can just be fun.
Yeah.
And the dickheads that are gonna like not enjoy it aren't watching it, so it's fine."
Really,
I
it's
like
fine.
Triple A is like one of for myself personally as a fan, Triple A is one of the biggest things to happen last year.
It's like a guilty
Well, it
pleasure.
will be last year in a couple of hours.
Exactly, my good sir, and, that's the thing here. I look back at this year, and as much of a shit show it was for WWE, there are things that I still look back on fondly. And it's
Oh yeah,
not like,
a
oh,
lot of
glass
it I look on
half
fondly.
full,
Yeah,
but they at least tried something with John Cena turning heel. Like, yeah, it failed
yeah.
spectacularly, but we got something different, and you can't say we didn't. They gave
Mhm.
us the same type of stereotypical heel, but no one
I love that
truly
they
ever
took
thought it would be
swings with
Cena.
it. I love that with that specifically, and with John Cena specifically, they took swings that they knew weren't gonna work and did them anyway. The whole when
Yep.
he leading up to him and Punk in Saudi, when he did his own pipe bomb and Punk did the Punk life thing,
Yes.
I'm like, you only hate that because you don't wanna have fun."
Yes, because even
Like,
the
that
Saudi
is
crowd he apologized to, and then they
mhm,
they like
mhm,
just enveloped him in love and kindness after
mhm.
he was like, "I'm sorry," and people are like, "Oh, corporate Phil, he doesn't mean." I was like, "No, because his intent wasn't to hurt the people. It was the regime that
Yeah, of
essentially had
course.
his issue." But they can't see past that. They can't understand
Mhm.
why that's a thing, and it's like, ah, what
They
what
forget that,
what
like,
hallway did your mother birth you in, and was it on top of a huge flight of stairs? Like that's what this feels
mhm,
like.
mhm. They forget that the guy that runs the company that they love also, has teams over there, but,
Yeah.
let's not let the facts get in the way of a good story.
No,
Anyways,
certainly.
so there's a lot of speculating going into SmackDown. We should talk about the actual matches that are
Oh,
happening.
what did we tell you about that
Uh,
before? We can't speculate. It's not allowed.
oh my goodness gracious. So, first of all, and I'm gonna stand on this because I do think it's great, plus the news that we got about Damian Priest recently. I have no problem with the fact that we're getting Priest versus Black again. I really don't,
I
because
don't either.
after they did the Rhea Ripley thing, you knew the next thing that was gonna happen was Zelina Vega coming out and saying, "Oh, you could only win a match when Rhea was here to save you." Now he's got his back up against a wall to prove himself once again as a one-on-one competitor, and we find out that the reason it was so stop-start is because he was in such rough shape that the company basically told him to go home,
Yeah.
which
And
puts an
that's
entirely new context on all of it, and I just like watching Aleister Black wrestle, period. I don't even I I say this in a positive way, I don't even care who he's in the ring with. I
oh
just like
yeah.
having Aleister Black on there as part of the show. Him and his wife getting to work together, they seem like they're having and it goes back to that simple thing of even if I didn't like it, which I do, I like seeing people that look like they're having a good day at work. And it seems like him and Zelina are. Zelina lost her last name. Super unfortunate. We'll find it in the void somewhere. Damian Priest is probably going to win. But like these two aren't as mismatched as people try to point out and put out there. People are saying, "Oh, this is
I
a
get
total
it.
mismatch. They've got no chemistry." Well, they do. You don't like that they did a fireball spot,
Yeah,
but
you're
yet
you're pissed
you
off
but yet
about the silly stuff that's not
you
actually
you're pissed
silly.
off about the fireball spot, but yet you guys are the ones that clapped like seals when Burger Kingston came down the ramp covered in fake blood with a gas can like he was an NPC from a video game.
Yeah, because that made a bunch of sense. I wish they burnt the TNA
I hate
ring.
that guy. I
I
hate that guy.
I know you do, and I'm
His
gonna figure
fan
that
base
out
is
eventually.
obnoxious. His fan base is obnoxious. I
They
will say that
are
I'm okay.
pretty
I'm
terrible.
not quite there. I'm not quite there yet. His fan base is on par with Sasha Banks and the Bucks.
Oh, yeah.
Stop trying to make Burger Kingston a thing. It's not a thing. Anyways, next one we're gonna talk about, it's a squash, but it's one of those somebody's been put in a jobber position, but I think that she kills it in the jobber position, even though I'd like to see her higher. It's Jade Cargill versus Michin. I love Michin.
Ooh, yeah.
I wish she was in a more prominent spot. She's being set up to be squashed. I'm pretty sure she's being set up to have BFAB turn on her because I think they're gonna do the Jade Cargill and friends thing, kind of like she did in AEW with who was it, Red Velvet and Kira Hogan.
Yes. I'm pretty sure that's
So
right.
that might be a thing. They haven't really done much with BFAB either, but
They
like
haven't
the
done
little
much with a lot of the women. Look at Julia.
yeah,
I mean, she was number 2 on the PWI list, what, 2 years
yep,
ago, and now she's, like,
yep.
close to non-existent?
I think that here's the thing. She was the mid-card champion. I don't think they're gonna give her the mid-card title again
No.
because a lot too many people reacted with the, "Oh my god, they gave her the mid-card title." And it's like, you can tell how can I say this without being condescending?
Yeah, because it
You
wasn't
can
supposed to
tell
be a condescending thing, you know, like, but
no, but I don't wanna be condescending to the fans, but
no,
the
I get you,
the
yeah.
fact that the fact that the women's divisions having mid-card titles is still such a new concept. Like, most people coming in, like, if you look at the guys, yeah, you got the Intercontinental Championship before you got the world title. That's progression, that's how things work. With the women's division, for so long, it was either you were the champion or you were doing nothing, which is kind of unfortunate. So, yeah, she came up from NXT. She came up from NXT super fast, along with Stephanie Vacour.
Yeah,
But yeah, of course, she's gonna get the mid-card title. So now I think they're in a spot yet where she's gonna be in the world title picture, but they haven't really sorted the world title picture out, and they don't wanna put the mid-card title back on her because people are gonna bitch about it as a downgrade.
yeah,
So, no, they haven't done much with her, but I think in the case of Julia, the fans have kind of put them in a no-win situation as well. So, I'll put it half on WWE, but I'll put it half on the, well, it's not great unless it's exactly what I called for fans.
okay, I get that.
Um but Michin is I like Michin and BFAB as a team are not that terrible as a team. So at least put them in the mix. Let them be because they've both been jobbers for Jade Cargill.
Yeah,
Let
for
them
a
be
while
jobbers
now.
for the tag division. And we're gonna talk about the tag division in a minute. But Michin has made a whole lot of other people look good. Michin was the first opponent for Chelsea Green when Chelsea Green became the first ever women's United States champion. And they did the dumpster match, and the dumpster match was fantastic.
It was,
Now a
and that
lot of
was a highlight, and people are like, "Oh, why? Because she came out covered in crap." I was like, "There's so much more to that match, and that's what you get out of this, you dipshit?" Like,
people that are willing to make themselves look silly are easier to take seriously.
but people
This is
miss
what
this entirely, like,
this is what people
why?
okay, I know it's the prime example, but I'm gonna use it as the prime example because Chelsea Green herself used it as the example. The Miz is the poster boy for, "I will do anything that I'm asked to," pretty much.
Yes.
Sort of like, dashing era Cody Rhodes as well, to give him credit for it as well. But it's like, I'm willing to do anything if the scene needs me to look like an idiot because right now the project is so and so, then I'll go look like an idiot and help so and so.
Yeah, exactly. But
Like,
you're
so
trying
for
to benefit the many, not the one, and that's the rarity, you know?
yeah,
It's
exactly.
people don't look out for each
Exactly.
other, they don't
Like,
care the way they used
I'm
to it.
sorry, people get cheered solely because they're facing the Miz.
Yeah, oh, yeah, you know, like, there those but you're I'm saying nowadays, yeah, I get your point entirely,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to combat you with by basically saying, like, yeah, nowadays, like, Gunther has
Problem with
heat,
Chelsea Green is
but
she's too good at playing the Miz role that people like her. So
yeah,
she's gotta try
exactly.
extra hard to put heat on other people, but, like, that's again, you get into, like, potential call-ups for Smackdown. Ethan Page has gotta be on the list. Like, the act considering they're technically from 2 different shows and representing those 2 different shows on a 3rd show now as tag champions, they they have a pretty wicked act there. It makes Alba Fire sort of the odd person out, and Piper Niven, who's been pretty outspoken recently as well about injuries, who might not even be coming back, and is another one saying, "Hey guys, take care of yourselves, check yourselves," all those types of things.
Don't wreck yourself,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, but like the fact that like Chelsea and Ethan are like this double champion tag champions act, it does make Alba Fire sort of out to be the person that's just kind of there. So they got to find something for her to do because Chelsea and Ethan on the main roster is going to be an act that carries things in a
Yeah.
very significant way. Once Ethan is on the main roster, I think the mixed tag division is going to be a thing because there's so many combinations like Alistair and Zelina, Ripley and Priest. There's another one that I
I'm
just had
so
on the tip.
I know.
Yeah, another one on the tip of my tongue that I just can't.
So terrible with that today.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
there's many options. But my overall feeling of this is just like I don't see why it's this big of an issue over. To me, it feels like you know something so minute in general, and I guess that's the name of the game with wrestling fans and everything. But like,
Yep, of
no, nothing's ever going to be truly perfect, and I mean that in like the
course not.
best way possible. Fans thrive for perfection, but
Mhm.
it's eh, it's hard to fully, like I said, encapsulate the feeling, but wrestling brings out some type of primal, animalistic, deep
My way or no way thing.
yeah, urge inside, like, "Yeah, I wanna go tell my boss, 'Go yourself.' I wanna go and call that lady a nugget, 'cause I can,'" you
Yep.
know, those kinda things. No, I
And see,
wanna
here's the
go
thing,
ahead
and this is
and
why I love that we're talking about all 3 of these shows at the same time, because we've got
yes.
3 chances in a row. You and I touched on it actually last time we spoke, I think, but it gives us an innate, reason to be excited for at least 3 shows, because this SmackDown is the return to 3 hours. This Raw is the Raw anniversary. This NXT is the New Year's Evil. Every time they try to make a show special, 3 things can happen. Either they try to convince you that things are gonna be different going forward, and they are, and it's awesome, or they try to convince you that things are gonna be different, at least for tonight, and they either are or they aren't,
Yeah.
or they take a really big swing and it falls on its ass. Like,
Yeah.
whichever way it goes, it's not going to be a boring night. And if you can have a little bit of a sense of humor about that, that means you're kinda going into an all-win situation. Because even if it falls down on its ass, it'll do it more spectacularly because they're trying to make it a bigger thing,
Yeah.
and, like, who's to say that shit can't fall down?
Exactly, like, I and that you're
Remember
perfectly right.
Emelina?
Emelina, yeah.
Okay, so, I wanna touch on something here for SmackDown
Yes.
that most people were predicting for the Rumble, and a
Yes.
lot of people are now predicting for the Raw anniversary,
'Cause do you know what
but
happened with that, partially? Not to cut you off,
do
but
you know
it
what
is
I'm
it is
you
it
know what
is
I'm talking about?
impactful. Well, it's just because the reason why things like this are happening and they want this is because they can't have the surprises in the Rumble because people have to get
Oh, okay,
clearance to
no, no,
go through.
we're going in different ways.
But
So
it leads to what you're talking about. So the reason they're
there's
gonna be
somebody
able to
coming.
bring these people in is because they want a surprise before the Rumble because they can't do it at the
Mm.
Rumble, was
Yeah,
apparently a
which is
thing going
bullshit. If
on.
you have a bunch of money, you can sneak people in and around places. Somebody that we thought was coming back at the Rumble and may or may not be, somebody who we thought might come back at the Raw anniversary show. It's I hate saying that. It's not the Raw anniversary show. It's the anniversary of Raw being on Netflix.
Yeah, but
2
that's just
different
a
things there.
mouthful, so
It is a mouthful. Pause. But something that I hope happens this Friday on SmackDown instead,
Yes.
because his contract is up at midnight tonight.
Mhm.
Chris Jericho.
Break the walls down. See, that's what I'm getting into too. Like they want all these big surprises to come out because they're supposedly that we talked about it about 4 or 5 months ago that hey, listen, when they made the Mania announcement, that was over the summer, right?
Mhm.
And at that point, the biggest thing that I had heard was, "Oh, they can't have surprises because they have to go through, like, customs and whatever." It's not a normal procedure like other countries.
They have to go through customs no matter where
Not
they
not
go.
it there's a different type of thing. It's not
Yeah,
like a normal customs because they have to declare
I know.
your all your stuff and what you have to sign stuff agreeing that you're not gonna talk about the kingdom and you're not gonna
Yeah.
like, it's a whole process,
So fly them
obviously.
in a week before or whatever.
Right, you but then
It's
people would still
bullshit.
know, like, the it's I don't know, because you're gonna see the flight manifest anyways of who I don't know the
Mhm.
exact intricacies of it, but for whatever reason, the surprises are set to be spoiled, so I guess they're just set to have as much as they can beforehand, and it
People are
seems like
saying
that's
this like
lining up.
like spoilers don't come out for the Rumble every year.
Exactly, but I guess that would be like a
Like, again,
confirmation.
it's one of those come out and say what you really wanna say. You're gonna dump on WWE because they're doing another Saudi show, and that's fine. You don't have to dress it up as something else. My point being, just the same way as we talked about, there's gonna be a lot of NXT, stars coming up on SmackDown because they need to fill that 3rd hour. I'm saying Jericho for the same reason, kind of. Here's my pitch. I threw this out on another chat the other day. Cody and Drew are gonna go one more time. They're gonna go do this 3 Stages of Hell match on the 9th, in Belgium, I think,
Yeah.
the Belgium SmackDown. I am predicting that we're going to get a double turn in that match.
Really?
I am predicting we get a double turn
Mm.
in that match, and Jericho comes in as a dickhead, finds whoever, like, grab Grayson Waller, maybe grab a couple dickheads from Evolve or whatever, build like whatever the WWE equivalent of the JAS would be,
Yeah.
and you get dickhead heel Jericho as the first opponent for newly babyface Drew McIntyre. And
Ooh.
you do that because SmackDown going 3 hours means you need another main event story that's
Yes.
not the title.
Absolutely, you're right too.
So
So
moving forward, say for example, we're
because
going to talk
last
about
year
this
it was
guy
the
in a
triple
second.
threat. That wasn't for the title,
Exactly.
with
So
Punk and everybody.
here's my thing, right? So just imagine, because we're gonna have to get another opponent eventually for Cody Rhodes, because I'm predicting Cody wins. Spoiler.
Yeah.
Um, so new heel champion Cody Rhodes that comes out, says, I've beaten everybody. Who can possibly take me? Who could possibly, step up to me, whatever. Cue in your call up for Obafemi. So
Mhm.
now going forward, on one side of the SmackDown card, you've got Drew McIntyre, newly babyface, against a returning heel Jericho. And on the other side of the coin, you've got newly heel Cody Rhodes and absolute steamroller upstart blue chip, whatever you want to call it, Obafemi.
Obafemi. See, now here's the thing too that I love about this because it's so good on so many levels.
You know what else is
And
good on so many levels? A
ooh,
bookshelf.
hey. No, but the thing it really is because I was one of the rare
I'm a
ones to
dickhead.
not completely hate the finish at Saturday night's main event. Yes, it felt cheap, but
Mm,
booking wise, it's smart because you don't want to have either man. I was like, just give him a loss, but you don't. You don't want to do that. You don't want to have Obafemi losing before he debuts, and you don't want him pinning the
facts.
champion. I mean, he could have beat Cody. That would have been massive, but then you're really kind of like making Cody look weak in that regard. It was tricky. So I understand what they went for.
Mm,
Problem is here is that Obafemi, like you laid out, is such an incredible athlete. I'm so excited to see what he does on the main roster, especially with
mm.
this new depth of talent that they're boasting. But that would be a great
People are already
secondary
calling for
storyline.
him and Breaker to be like the Mania guys in like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Like normally
So
you say, "Oh, I see this person doing this in 5 years." And everybody I've seen has been like Oba, Breaker, less than 5 years.
yeah, and now we have the tease of well, we don't know who would have won that match. Obafemi busted your ear. You could have been too dizzy to do a damn thing, and you're done for. Like
Oh,
that
exactly,
could
yeah.
have been a possibility, and that could have been a legit, like
Mm,
real life possibility. You don't know what the cards hold, and that's kind of a forever issue. So I hate when fans do things so
mm,
egregiously self aggrandizing where it's like but it's all focused on them. Like you mentioned early on in this podcast, great callback, sir, with,
hey.
concern trolling. It's kind of on the same line level, however you want to declare it. But it's the I know better, even though I've never wrestled before, or I am better,
Yep.
whatever you want to call it. And that's one of the things I'm most disgusted by and sick of because it's just
And the
been
thing is, it's not like
endless.
people and because we come up here and do this. It's not like people who have never wrestled don't have a place to speak. It's just don't speak like you have. That's it.
Exactly.
Like we can speculate that, Sasha Banks throated her way to 14 titles, but I don't have the video evidence. It is what it is. It
Yeah.
definitely is what it is. I don't know. The Jericho thing is madly intriguing to me,
Oh, I'm so
and
excited. And AEW fans, again, you're pissing me off because you guys
yep.
have lambasted Jericho forever. So have I. But I've never denied that he was a big fish in the totally wrong river. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
he's swimming upstream and everybody else is hanging at the bottom trying to nip at what he's left over. Jericho didn't fit and he tried so hard to fit. He did the death matches and all the barbed
With the
wire
pizza
stuff
cutter.
and yes, with the bank addicted drug robber. What the hell's his name? I
Oh,
always forget it
no.
too.
Oh, Nick
Regardless,
Gage?
Nick Gage, there we go. I just Cody had kind of the same issue too, trying to legitimize himself as a wrestler, not a sports entertainer. That's a dirty word, and that's where they kind of split that at
It's
him, and
so
people
funny
started to
that when
revolt.
that company started, they thought Jericho was their biggest weapon, and then they just turned on him the second, like, anything was anything. Oh, well, it's okay because now we've got a different WWE talent that we're gonna prop ourselves up with, and another different WWE talent that we're gonna prop ourselves up with. And, "Oh, look at that. What's this? What did I find here lying in the water? Another WWE talent that we're going to prop ourselves up with.
And my biggest, like,
While
upset
we fillet ourselves as the bosses and give ourselves a bunch of belts.
and bonuses, hey! Gotta get those
But we're
million-dollar
poor.
bonuses.
But don't you know, we, the guys that run the company, we're poor. We can't even afford
We're not even
maintenance.
making a
Fuck off.
profit. What? Us? No. No, we're not taking a dime.
I can sit here and be a prophet right now. In 5 years, we're not talking about AEW.
Ooh, sir. Should I call you Muhammad from now on, or?
Oh.
Granted, one of the things that I'm most tired of is, oh, you're gonna love the babyface because he loses and loses and loses, and because you care about him losing, eventually when he wins, it's gonna be so just monumentally victorious that you're just
People
gonna
don't
be
get how
behind.
backwards that is.
Exactly, and they do it.
You
They do it in
can't make
NXT,
somebody
AEW, WWE, main, all
you
of it.
can't make somebody lose to make other people care about them. You take somebody that they already care about and have them lose because that will get a reaction. You can't
Mhm.
reverse engineer it.
And they tried so
Anyways,
hard with Javon to do that and pull that off. They've done it quite a bit on the main roster. AEW is guilty as all hell of it.
I will say though, they've put Javon everywhere, and I love it for that kid.
I'm
And I'm
very
saying
happy
kid like
for him
it's
too.
condescending, but
No,
like,
not at all. It's
goddamn.
really not. Somebody even call you the evil R word, using that type of vocabulary.
Oh dear, 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 dear.
Kid, boy, sir, youngin, all of it. Get
Yeah.
in trouble. Regardless, before I get
Yeah,
you kicked off
WWE
YouTube.
wait, let me see. WWE is so racist that their biggest NXT show of the year was headlined by Trick Williams versus Javon Evans versus Obafemi.
Yes.
I'm just
Uh,
putting it out there.
yeah, I forget Pro Wrestling Bits. He's got a great name for it. I always forget. It's like NXT, but like Black NXT, NXT Africa, something like that. He's got it. It's
Oh
funny,
no.
but
Oh no.
African NXT. That I think that's what it is. But he's right. He's like, because I have all these amazing, black and strong characters, and that everybody is just like, and he's right. I mean, look at all the badass fucking individuals they got brewing down there in
Of course,
NXT.
yeah.
Never mind what their race is. It's just I'm talking about them as people. Like they all seem like legit good people too. Which is, I mean, I don't know them personally,
I
but
will say, did you see NXT this week?
yeah, I've just wrapped it up as we went ahead and just started to talk to each other. Go figure.
Booker T basically being a backup singer for Joe Hendry on commentary.
I have that queued up, ready to go for the show tonight. I don't care if I have
Nice.
to slow it down and make it work or what. I need that on repeat. When he sang
Right.
it the week or two before, when he was trying, I don't know the rest of the words, and that was good enough as is. But now he's belting it out, and I just
See, we talk about like
moments
and I overuse
natural.
it, and I've used it enough in this podcast already. But the whole idea of people that you can tell are just having a fun day at work. I'm sorry, Booker T's one of them.
Oh yeah,
Corey Graves, we've talked about a lot, like being the decided like voice of AAA for like the English commentary. Um, a lot of the backstage interviewers even look like they're having a great day at work. Fucking CM Punk and Braun Breaker, and this is going to bring us over into the Raw anniversary. Raw is Stranger Things.
Oh my God, Spaz, what a transition. God, that got me frozen in anticipation. Oh wait, that's not the crossover. It's the Upside Down.
Upside down, upside down.
And
I
I
don't know
had
how. Okay, I'm not going to land on this for too long.
You didn't face your inner LGBTQ fears? Not yet.
Oh, I got stuff to say, but it's not the kind of stuff people think I'm gonna say because they want to automatically assume that
That
I'm
is
a
the
dickhead.
ultimate teaser for your audience. I cannot
Yeah,
wait.
for definitely not wrestling podcast at some point. But it's one of those, oh, you didn't like this episode. It must be because of this. No, that was
Yeah.
fine. It just could have been better. It might have been this other thing over here, completely unrelated. And it might have been this thing over here, completely unrelated. And when you see the portal, you should run, bitch.
Run!
Anyways, moving swiftly on. I'm going to not try to do spoilers because Jake hasn't caught up yet. So I'm trying not to be a dickhead.
I told you,
I don't
you're
know
not a
how they're
dickhead
gonna,
at all. You have nothing to worry about. That's my fault for not catching it.
because they're
That's how
doing
I do
the finale tonight.
Yes.
I don't know what the crossover
I guess they're
looks
going to
like.
have people in attendance that were
I guess
on
they're
the
gonna have
show.
people there. Like
And
Millie Bobby Brown's probably gonna be there and announce a match or something like that. I wish they would do something. I wish they had like some
That'd be cool if they
established.
got her, but I haven't seen her in any of like the like gigantic press stuff. I mean, Netflix and
Yeah.
WWE have like this exclusive deal, so I could see
I was
them
gonna
maybe
say, like,
partner
they're
out. But
working it's not like they're going to Netflix to say, "Hey, can we borrow an actress?" Like, they're
it's
working
Netflix saying,
like,
"Go here
it's
now,
it's
quick."
it's Netflix taking somebody from another one of their shows to another one of their shows. I kinda wish the Wyatt Six were on Raw because you could do some fun,
Oh,
like,
absolutely. But do they
it's
even
the
need to
most
be on
obvious
Raw?
time.
Just let them
Just let them
come
show
out.
up. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Why does it matter? Like, see, to me, the brand split is already under such loose
Yeah,
guidelines
I
with how
know.
it works at times. I wish they would just get rid of it and have it be like, all right, these are the brands, but people can go back and forth. But it
Yeah,
just means that if you're at this show, these are your guaranteed stars. Everybody else
yeah.
is a maybe. That's how I would list it.
Yeah,
That's
I
it.
get it. I get it, but it's like I've like, they're already into their stuff
No, I
on their
know.
show, and the thing is, like, you put them on twice a week, then somebody comes up and says, "Well, why'd they get to show up twice?" And, Joe Bob
Not
the
me.
3rd from Evolve hasn't even been on Raw yet, like, what are we
Yeah.
doing? But no, I'm just like, it would be a nice tie-in, like, again, somebody like Aleister Black having an interaction with like, even if you get something as dumb as, like, some cosplayer out there in, like, a Vecna suit or whatever. I
Yeah.
really like Stranger Things, guys.
Yeah.
If you haven't figured this out, I think it's fantastic that it, along with Derry, were trending so much in the Christmas season. It makes me smile in my little black heart.
Well,
I
isn't
don't
it
know. I don't
also
know what.
refreshing? I know I brought you everywhere around in this podcast, but with it being
Mm,
like a end of year wrap up too, one of the things I
mm,
wanted to know is like, isn't that great that stuff that you and I know it sounds so cliche. Oh, we've been there with Sheldon, Bazinga, but no, I'm saying like things that we grew up on or the memories we had as kids are
yeah.
finally being tackled in a not so cheesy limelight, and
And see,
that's
for me, I get what you're saying, right?
yeah,
For me, it's not necessarily the periodical element of it. Like, yeah, the retro and the
yeah,
music that we like and whatever. For me, it's a much more generic, and this is, like, for TV shows as well as movies.
yeah.
For me, as a horror fan, it's just, been a cool year for me to see horror stuff
Yeah, it takes
getting
so many different
attention in
directions.
general.
There's so many different
Um,
types of horror, and that's what I'm saying though is that
yeah,
they use nostalgia not to bait people, but to make them have
yeah,
a sense of connection, and then from there,
yeah,
that all it needed was what it got, word of mouth,
yep,
and it
yep.
took
I'm
off.
just 'Cause we had like, if you look at movies, like, Sinners obviously had attention for a bunch of specific reasons, but it was
Yeah,
also a fantastic movie. The movie Weapons, divided a lot of people, but it was a really good, totally different kind of horror movie type of idea.
it was something
The
different, I'll give
ride
you that much.
people people don't like prequel stuff, like, stuff has been prequeled to death, but if you do it properly, then I don't care. So we just had Welcome to Derry
Yeah,
as the prequel to It. Next year, we're getting Crystal Lake, which
that's
is the
cool.
the prequel of,
Friday the
Friday the
13th.
13th,
Yeah.
and I don't necessarily need something like, nostalgia is a decent thing to add into it as well.
Yeah,
For myself as a horror movie fan,
that's
for the
not
people
your
that tune
hook.
into for the people that tune into this channel for, like, movie content, when I do movie content, like, not even once a month, you'll notice most of it is either Marvel or horror stuff. I'm a horror fan, and I just think it's been, nostalgia aside, I just think it's been an awesome year for horror, and
Yeah.
it's been an awesome year for other people that don't usually touch the horror genre to sort of shake hands with the horror
See, that's
genre a little
exactly what
bit.
I was getting
So
into.
WWE shaking hands with a horror show. Yes, it's because of Netflix. It's
Yeah.
because they're on the same network. But, like, in years gone by, to
This
your
wouldn't have
example,
happened. It's
yeah, but in years gone by, they would have gone for a much more generic and overall crowd pleasing answer, like a, I don't know, what did you say a second ago? Sheldon from
mhm,
Big
Big
Bang,
Bang and stuff like
or
that, yeah.
something like that.
But my
Like,
main point,
my
isn't it
my kind of thing's getting a turn, if that makes sense.
yeah, no, I totally get your point. That's exactly where I was going with it. Isn't it nice to finally have the stuff that you've loved for so long get its, time in the
Yeah,
sun?
yeah.
That's what I was heading into for you because it is such an interesting thought process and complex because I mean,
Well,
really, you're going ahead and this has always been home base for you. Everybody else is
well,
just arriving. But you,
Oh,
instead of
yeah.
being an elitist or pretentious asshole and gatekeeping any of it, you're like, "That's awesome. You should also
But
check
do you know
this
what it is
out
as
and
well,
this
though?
out."
Because we're talking about this thing that I like coming into wrestling.
Yes.
99% of the time, it's the other way around.
Yeah.
It's, "Oh my god, I went to see this random comedy movie, and you wouldn't believe it, a wrestler showed up."
Yeah. Holy
Like,
cow.
it's so now to have that inside wrestling and say, I'm already here for the wrestling," and, "Oh my god, one of my other things just came in too." I'm that was a
Yeah.
horrible way of putting together a sentence, but you get my point.
That
My thing is
that was a
is
train wreck. Oh! Get it? John
Hey.
Cena's in Trainwreck. Ah, I
Yeah,
worked
I
so hard
got
on
you.
that joke.
He's also in Cock Blockers.
Oh!
Moving swiftly on. Um, but yeah, it's one of those things where I'm interested to see what they do, but on a different level, I also don't care because I wanna get on with the show and see what the show has to offer as
Yeah.
well, so it's a little bit of a give and a little bit of a take. But I started off the transition into Raw. Let's talk about the main event. Braun Breaker, CM Punk. Breaker's taking this, isn't he?
Oh god, I don't think so. I think
You
something
don't
big's
think so?
gonna happen. What if Jericho costs it? What if I mean, I don't know. I just for some reason, LA Knight has been gone for some time with that kayfabe injury, you know? What if he cost Braun Breaker that? Because they, are certainly owed a bit of an ass whooping because of it, and they tsunamied him on the back of a car. I for some reason think Braun Breaker doesn't get it, but does go on to win the Rumble is my thought right now. Maybe in a week I won't be stuck on that anymore for a different prediction. But as far as Monday goes, I will stick to Braun Breaker is not yet the champ. CM Punk's retaining.
Here's my thing, right?
Do tell me, sir.
CM Punk, for everything else you can say positive or negative about CM Punk, you can tell when he's sunk his teeth into something new,
Yes.
right? I'll use the example when he went to AEW and he showed up and he's, "Hey, I'm here. Thanks for the big ovation, whatever, blah, 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 blah." First person he called out was who?
Darby Allen
There you go. Young, exciting, new guy,
knew what to
different.
do. Shows he now Punk can show he still got it, and it also showcases Darby. Brilliant all the way around.
Yeah.
But Darby
And
didn't do
now,
anything to capitalize on it, so stupid as fuck
well,
later,
but
but
the thing was though, like Darby didn't. I hate to say this like this because I like Darby Allen.
Mhm.
Darby Allen was also in a place where he didn't have to do too much
No, he just
because
threw his
the fans
body
already
around.
loved him. He was already like a dyed in the wool like AEW day one guy.
Yeah.
So Punk was coming in and he's picking the guy that everybody wants to see do more, but the guy that people have already decided they're with.
Yep.
In a different way, it's more of a company way. Look at Braun Breaker. The minute he showed up on NXT, you knew WWE was going to push this guy.
Oh, yeah.
Not just because he's got muscles, let's push him, but
Or he's
like
got the
the
lineage or it's all of it.
well
It
the
is.
lineage helps, but like he's
But I'm saying
explosive.
it's
The
not
promo
just
style
one
is
thing.
there, but like he's the guy. Like people, like before he joined the Vision more so. But like when he was sort of in the middle, when they couldn't really decide whether he was a babyface or heel, the crowd was behind him. The crowd was barking for him when he came out, and the crowd's still barking now when they're done booing Paul Heyman and Logan Paul and Austin
Yeah.
Theory
And they
and
keep it
Bronson
going.
Reed. So he's not a brand new guy, but Braun Breaker in this position is brand new, and Punk's good with that.
He really is. He makes people
He's going in
feel
there. He's going
bigger
in
than
there.
life.
He knows how to play up to it. He's the older guy. He's the smaller guy. He might be the slower guy. He's just the guy with the belt. You know what I mean?
I get it.
He's bringing that belt over his shoulder and who he is to the match. Meanwhile, there's a bowling ball coming at him named Braun Breaker, and that bowling ball rolls at 23 miles an hour.
You're not
I
lying.
think he's
He's got
taking
so
it,
much
and
momentum, so much force. I mean, he is like a shot out of a cannon. Have you seen the clips where he's moved the ring by running so fast into the
oh
ropes?
yeah,
Like,
when they actually have they got the what do you call it? The police radar gun thing on him. That's where they
yeah.
got the 23 on most of his t-shirts is
Yes,
because he runs at 23 miles an hour.
which is insane. You don't realize how fast that is. It doesn't sound like it's super fast, but it is
You,
incredibly, incredibly
when you
fast.
notice his speed is when he does that run around the ring spear and they show it from the top.
Yes, because they can't
They show
track
it
him
from
fast enough.
they show it from the Money in the Bank camera perspective.
Yes,
But
that
no,
cracks me up.
I think he's got to win. because I know I said that it's not a downgrade, like, when people get the Intercontinental Championship rather than the World Championship. I was making that, thing a while ago. But when CM Punk came back to WWE and you said they wanted him to be the champion, and I said I wanted him to be the champion, I'm sorry, but that belt that gets derogatorily referred to as the Seth belt is
Yeah.
fine, but it's not the championship. It should be. It's the championship of that show, blah, 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 blah. But it's not really. Like, you do that squishy face and you're like, yeah, but it's not, is it? And
Is it?
here's the other thing. Here's the other thing. He has to lose it soon. He has to lose it at the Anniversary Raw or lose it at the Rumble.
I was even gonna say maybe they go to the chamber with it, but I don't see him going to
No,
Mania with the belt.
no, not the Chamber.
Yeah.
He has to walk into the Chamber as not a champion
Okay, so that's his only way to get to Mania kinda
because the
idea.
Chamber's in Chicago.
Okay. Alright. I'm feeling you.
Chamber's in Chicago, and if he
Yeah.
can't go to WrestleMania in Chicago, he can stamp his ticket to WrestleMania in
In
Chicago.
Chicago, yeah, that's got
Because I'm
Punk written
sorry,
all over it.
especially if I'm right about the Drew and Cody double turn, babyface CM Punk going in against heel WWE champion Cody Rhodes in the Tony Khan. You could have had it Fumble Rumble at the main
Ultimate
event of
Bumble Rumble.
WrestleMania.
Served with
You got
cheese bread and crazy sauce because it's greasy. You just get, like, some crazy
nice,
Booker T line.
nice. And I'm sorry, but like CM Punk as well in like the positive elements of having an ego. If somebody's gonna set off a firework to start off the entire year, Braun Breaker winning against CM Punk in the first Raw of the year, he
Yeah.
gets to be the other part of that firework as they send Braun Breaker into the stratosphere. Meanwhile, that that rocket goes straight up and he just sort of keeps walking along the path to WrestleMania, where Braun Breaker has a celebration for now and Punk has a path long term.
Yeah.
Yeah, not
I'm
really.
interested
And if
by
they're gonna
that.
and if
That's
they're gonna push him towards the Chamber, which is gonna be in Chicago, it's gonna be real good. He's gonna lose and it's gonna make me sad. But if the plan is Punk starts the year losing, has to sort of regain some traction by the time he gets to Elimination Chamber in his own town, and that's what punches his ticket to WrestleMania,
then so be it. Yeah.
then then there's no reason to draw out him being the champion as we go into the new year.
Yeah, no
Like,
doubt. So I
peel the
see your
Band-Aid off,
point.
peel the
Yeah.
Band-Aid off now, let the story start from day one. Because if he loses the title on like the go home Raw and then wins the Chamber the next day, then him losing it doesn't get a chance to have any effect. Right now, if you do it this way, you've got 2 months of him feeling the effect of losing the title, building that motivation, building that momentum into his hometown return, into the Chamber, going to Mania. Like a little bit of catharsis along the way is good. And the
Yeah.
longer you get Braun
And they're
Breaker with
back in
that title
Vegas.
and then you
He
do
can
Braun
redeem the
Breaker.
loss in Vegas last year. That's my kind of thought too. Like,
Absolutely.
that's
Absolutely.
that's kind of a story in its own.
Then you get Braun Breaker taking on Brock Lesnar after Brock Lesnar wins the Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia, and Brock Lesnar walks out of WrestleMania as the World Heavyweight Champion, and
Oh my
everybody's
god.
very,
Very
very, very
happy.
normal about it. Very
Yep,
normal
very
about it.
very ecstatic. They just love this idea.
All right, let's go, let's go, let's go. The one thing we didn't talk about on SmackDown, because it's kind of a preview for what we're getting on Raw. On SmackDown, we're getting Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Alexa Bliss, and Charlotte Flair taking on the Kabuki Warriors, Nia Jackson, Lash Legend, to get us ready for the Women's Tag Team Championship match, which is Rhea and Io against the Kabuki Warriors. Rhea and Io got to win this, right?
I
Right? Right?
I don't know. So
Right?
I've come back and forth on this so many times because
Pause.
of who's involved. Yeah, giggity. But no, I'm genuinely like at a mental standstill because if they were going to lose, wouldn't they have beaten them already? No. All right. Like some of the story was off, and I feel like we're already going to get one match possibly broken up and screwed on with the main event, possibly. You're thinking it goes and Breaker wins, which would be super goddamn exciting. Not that I don't want to see it. I just don't believe WWE would pull it off. Not at this point. I mean,
I'll give you a hint here, right? I'll give
yes,
you a hint here. WWE always gets slated because supposedly they don't do as much with tag team wrestling as they should. Is that a
yes,
fair
that
thing?
is very fair
I
to
don't
say.
think that's a fair accusation, but it's fair to say that that idea is out there, right?
Hmm.
Is it also fair to say that two of the most debated stars in WWE in 2025 were Rhea Ripley and Jey Uso?
Yeah, I could see that.
Okay, so we ended 2025 with the Usos becoming tag team champions. Why not start the year
Yeah.
with Rhea Ripley becoming a tag team champion?
But that's the thing with her and Rio, like, can't beat him, join him. I really like that story. Like, it's endearing, but it's also kind of powerful in a way. Like, Io holds that over her head, but they're friends. And at any moment, Rhea just wants to be like, fuck you. I should have always won. And I don't know why I couldn't let my anxiety, not topple over. But there's
No,
there's
because
meat on
here's
the
the thing:
bone there.
if we go back to Io and Rhea, then they'll do what they always do by shoving in an unnecessary
Third,
third person. Looking at
Bianca's
you,
back.
Naomi. Looking at you, Naomi. Looking at you, Bianca, etc., etc. One
Bianca's
of
back.
them's out. One of them's out with a fingering injury, and one of them's out with what happened
Uh,
after the fingering injury.
Ah, that's a great one. My God,
Oh,
I give you
goddamn.
many kudos points for that one.
I give you my disdain and hatred for both of them.
Oh, but that
Moving
cracked
swiftly
me
on.
good. Yeah.
I'm
Oh
glad they're both
boy.
gone because it means Jade Cargill actually got to be Jade Cargill for once.
No kidding.
Anyways,
I'll say that we get new champs. I will bite the bullet. Okay.
okay. It's a
Because
night of
I
new
hate being
champions.
I hate being indecisive. You know me. I like to try and give you
Yeah. So
some
I'm
solid
going I'm
prediction.
going Breaker, I'm going Rhea and EO. I am going for one title retention, however.
Okay.
That's Maxine Dupree as she defends against
Yee.
Becky Lynch.
So
And
part of
here
me is going to agree with you. So go ahead. Let me hear what you got to say.
no, I really
'Cause-
want to give WWE credit because they're doing the same thing in two different places. They're doing it on Raw and they're doing it on NXT, telling
yeah.
the story of a mid card champion who can't believe where they've landed. One of them accidentally,
Yes.
um,
Literally.
but they can't believe where they've landed. They can't believe that they're champion. They are questioning whether they deserve it or not, and whatever. But at the same time, as they're questioning themselves, they're not going to get stepped on. And I'm talking about not only Maxine Dupree, but Thea Hale as well. The fact that their stories almost mirror each other
Yeah.
between Raw and NXT is fantastic. Maxine Dupree, who I've never really had much to say about as a wrestler, is getting there. And like getting there is an okay place to be if you're not pretending you're already there.
Well, think about it too. She didn't really have a great deal of chance to have
No,
time to learn and grow, and I mean that in the nicest way possible. But
of course, yeah.
she was never given these matches. She was never given any of this extra anything. She just had to go out there, do the worm, and get beat in 3 seconds
Well,
every
they did the Alpha
single
Academy, and then
time.
Chad Gable turned heel, and then the Alpha Academy became like backstage characters.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, how awful it feels to
Yeah.
just have that constantly held against you, and you're like, "Come on, guys, you can't give me one. You can't give me just a simple, I've worked so hard," and
Mm.
but nope. And so to see her win the title and in such a stand up fashion, making her tap, it was great. I
Yeah.
liked what they did then, and
But I
I
like the
hope
fact,
they
and
don't walk it
again,
backwards.
we'll say the same thing with Thea Hale, but they're not all of a sudden coming out the next week. I'm the fucking best. I grabbed the belt. You guys all help me grab the belt. Now I'm where I need to be.
You
It's like
suck. You suck.
they're playing off the like how the fuck did I get here
Yeah.
mentality without it being
How the fuck did I get here? Yeah.
no, without it being like, okay, because I don't believe I maybe belong here, I'm gonna let everybody walk all over me.
Yeah.
Like it's a very it's strange, and it's strange that they're doing it with two different characters on two different shows. It's a very weird line to walk, and the fact that they're doing it so successfully on two different shows in two different examples is fantastic because we're going to get to Blake Monroe as well, but you could draw some character traits between Blake Monroe and Becky Lynch as well.
Yeah.
Even
And
though right
you
now
would
she's being
be
timeless Blake Monroe.
But that was her
People are
character
being
initially.
people are being very normal about that online too.
That's how Mariah May was on The Independents when she went ahead and she took
Mm,
on Julia and shit. That's what she was. She
mhm.
was the timeless character, and Tony really stole it from her. I'm not being
Well,
a
you
dick
can't say
here.
that. You can't go around saying true things about AEW, Jake. You're gonna get us kicked off.
Cody warned me about this too. You guys, I appreciate you trying to save me, but I gotta jump off this
I
ledge. I'm
do
telling you.
I do think there's one bad thing that could happen because the one thing that happened in her initial winning of the title, what finally got her over the line was the surprise return of AJ Lee. I
Yeah.
don't think you can do it this time if you want us to stay behind her as a one-on-one character. Like, trust me, I'd love to see AJ Lee. I'd love to see Becky fail and AJ comes back to continue fucking with her after the match. It's all about whether AJ Lee shows up before or after the bell for me on this one. And it's one of those I want to see it, but I don't want to see it until I want to see it.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
that's a sentence, right?
Yeah, I get it. You don't wanna see it till
Okay.
I see it. When you see it, you'll know how to see it. See it?
Exactly.
'Cause you can't see me. My time is now.
So of all
That
these
gimmick's
champions,
dead.
CM Punk, Asuka, Kairi Sane, Maxine Dupree. The only one I've got maintaining their title is Maxine Dupree.
Yeah, I think she has got some explaining to do. No, she's gonna win. I feel like she'll retain, and the internet will kindly rejoice.
The one thing I
Right?
did say, because
Right.
I know a lot of people are saying that Jericho comes back on Raw just because it's the anniversary, it's the Netflix thing, you know, the Stranger Things tie-in and everything. The one thing I didn't mention, and it's a minor thing, but not such a minor thing. We talk about Cody Rhodes came back to WWE and got to use his like outside of WWE entrance. Edge went to AEW, still uses Metalingus as his entrance and all that sort of thing. I've got a compromise for Jericho. Do the Y2J countdown
Yeah.
into Judas.
I think that's great because doesn't he own the rights to it regardless, I thought?
Well, I would think so because it's
Not
him
not
singing and it's his
Judas,
group.
the original theme I thought he had for the Jericho song.
Oh,
I thought
the like break the walls down.
yeah, I thought he had some rights to
I
that.
I'm not sure because there's 3 or 4 slightly tweaked iterations
Very
of that
yeah.
song,
That's what
and
makes
I
me
think
think like had
he owns
copyright
one
and
and
yeah,
kind of like when Punk came back to WWE and they got In Living Color to record a new version of the song so that they could give In Living Color all the uh
royalties,
all
yeah.
the royalties directly, which I think is a really cool move
Yeah, hey,
on
can't
everybody's part, by the way.
argue them
But
that. That's awesome.
I think like the one thing that has sort of carried Jericho like outside of WWE is like the merging of his like music performer persona and his wrestling persona a
Yes.
little bit. Like he brought in like he was always like a little bit of a like a rock star character, but it was a little bit tuned up. Like the merging of those two ideas was a little tuned up in AEW to give them credit for that. And a big part of that is him coming out to his own song.
Yeah.
Like when COVID was happening, right?
Yes.
And you and I were doing content during COVID. And one of the things I said was as soon as we get crowds in the audience again, and as soon as I get to go to a show, one of the things I'm looking forward to is being in a crowd and singing Judas, right?
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
Break the Walls Down never became like a wrestling anthem.
No, certainly not.
Like they're not singing Break the Walls Down the way they sing Kingdom
Exactly.
or even the way they sing Voices. Like,
Yeah.
you can combine the 2, do the countdown. People are saying, if they were gonna save him to the Rumble, like, when it's his turn to come out in the Rumble, replace the countdown clock with the Jericho countdown clock, and I think that's really cool, but at the same time, you miss the pop almost after the
Yeah.
buzzer. So, if there's a way to do it, then there's a way to do it, but I kinda hope I've got a let's get it over with mentality with the Jericho thing. Like, I want him back in WWE. I think he has a lot to contribute. I don't think he was being used to his fullest extent as a reference or as a wrestler in AEW. And I think WWE will, in a good way, but like take him for everything he has to offer. And I really can't wait to see what they do with that because the guy reinvents himself like crazy. Him and Cody Rhodes.
Oh,
Sorry,
absolutely.
Jericho, Cody Rhodes, and The Undertaker.
Ooh.
Like, Can you name any other people out
I
there that
like
are
that
were
move.
s were so consistently reinventing what it meant to be them? Even if it was like a small tweak here or there, or a slight, um, Jericho with the haircut, CM Punk, even when he decided to get the mutton chops, when he looked like
Yes.
Wolverine for a little bit there. I mean, dashing Cody Rhodes, deranged Cody Rhodes, Stardust,
Yeah.
um, Le Champion, Le Dinner Debonair, The List. You've just made the list.
With a little cut
Why is
here and a little cut there, a little cut
why is my
everywhere.
name on this list?
Spaz Phoenix had some wrestlers. So the way you said that,
E-I-E-I-O.
the way you had that cadence to it, it just
But, yeah, and,
No, I'm with
that
you.
just
Jericho was, like, ostracized for being him in AEW, and people
yeah,
can't wait to cheer him in WWE, and that's not a slight in
no.
AEW, it's just different audiences and different, focal points. I don't know how you wanna label it again, but
Jericho went through what a
regardless.
lot of people went through in AEW though, of on the first half, they grab a WWE guy and look over the side and say, "Ha ha ha ha, we've got him now." And then
Yeah,
they come to slowly realize, "Oh, he's a WWE guy, let's ostracize him."
exactly, and it's like, "Well,
And I mean, I don't
what
say
did we
ostracize him
learn?"
like he's not a victim or anything like that. I'm pretty sure he could give a fuck less, but
Yeah,
it's like what
you
you do
wasted
to a
him.
wrestler. No, but what you do to a wrestler, you do to that fan base.
Oh, yeah, and they
So
missed that.
what you told the Jericho fan base is you were valuable until you weren't.
Mm, and that's the
You were valu
truth, and
you were
that
valuable
hurts, don't it?
until we could get CM Punk. CM Punk was valuable until he was more popular than all of us combined.
Mhm.
CM Punk
Selling
was
that.
valuable because he was the only time that, Rampage was worth watching. Anyways, moving swiftly on. Um, you know where it would be a really fun place, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say it lightly, but do you know where it would be really fun for Jericho to show up, especially because it's January 6th?
Chuck E. Cheese?
NXT.
Oh,
We got NXT New Year's Evil.
I was
We got
way
4
off
matches
there. I'm
announced.
sorry.
Um, there's a rumored 5th match here. I know, Tavion Heights became the number 1 contender for the Speed title, so
Yes,
him
in record
and
fashion, that was pretty cool, actually.
oh
So
my god,
that's
in 10 seconds, that was kinda cool, yeah.
that you know what? Can't do it all the time, but a little
Poor
change up
Lexus
like that.
King.
Hey, you know what?
Poor Lex
He's got it, and it's just a matter of
uh,
figuring out what that it
yeah,
is for him. Once he
yeah.
really gets into his own mindset of a
I like
character,
Lexus King. I think Lexus King is another one that's sort of going under the radar as sort of like a Miz value type
yeah,
guy.
he's so good, and
Well,
he
plus he's
certainly
heavily
deserves it.
involved in the sort of NXT B squad that are,
Attacking,
invading TNA.
yeah.
Have you seen the gear that they've got now with all the jackets and whatnot, the NXT Outlaws?
Yes, it's a little,
Whereas it's really I'm sorry, I love NXT, but the NXT Outlaws are just, "Here's a bunch of guys we're not using right now, go fuck with
go
TNA for a bit."
go try and set their shit on fire. They owe me money.
Stax is the international champion, and he's, like, locking face with Santino's daughter right in
Yeah,
front of them on
right.
television.
While just staring dead into the camera, being like, "This is what
Anyways,
I
so
do."
Tavion might be getting that Speed, title match as part of New Year's Evil.
Yeah.
It's kinda I've tried to look it up on it's not on Wikipedia, whatever, the Speed title is what it is, people hate it, and I'm like, "How do you hate it? It's
Yeah.
5 minutes at most." At most!
At the very most.
It's like, you've got, what is it, 120 minutes in an NXT episode. You can't spare 5? Go piss.
Nope. Nope. That's way too much of an ask. Are you
Okay,
kidding
and
me?
we're bringing it back. We're bringing it back once again. Izzy Dame taking on my girl Tatum Paxley, who is just character-wise just going from strength to strength to strength right now, and nobody's giving her any credit. You should go show Tatum Paxley some love. I think she's amazing. I think she needs to win it this time around, and she's going to do something to them in dramatic fashion. And if I want to go out on an extra limb, something I'm not entirely sure of, I think Izzy loses, and because Izzy loses, Spears and Nico drop her. I just think they drop her like a bad habit just to be like, we're kind of dicks. Sean Spears and Nico Vance have kind of been coming under a little bit of criticism as basically they're all out there being Izzy Dame's manager right now. So
Yeah. I
they got to do
mean,
something to like establish themselves as characters. And if they play it up the right way and Izzy Dame goes crazy, because she sees herself in the same dumped position that she just put Tatum in, but she doesn't blame the people that did it to her. She blames Tatum for like basically being a mirror of her.
Yeah.
Um,
Could be crazy.
I think you get another round out of that, but now that next round of it has a completely different structure
Yeah, whole
to it.
different shape. Absolutely.
But Tatum Paxley, like, especially with the people that we think are going up, Tatum Paxley's got to be in that world title picture again,
How
right?
could
Like
she
she had
not
it for
be?
5
Like,
seconds.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, and that's the problem with the general managers watching the show, seeing what's going on. Like, they obviously see how it went down. They know why she lost the title.
Yeah.
So,
Well, the built-in thing for the GMs is like even if the
the
GM sees you
refs
getting fucked over, the ref's decision is final and it is referee's discretion.
yeah,
So
but
they
then
can come
they
around and
overthrow, decisions, and it
yeah.
turns into nothing,
Yeah, yeah,
which
yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
just as bad, so,
Wrestling's gonna wrestle.
yeah,
Speaking of
without fail.
referees that had to call it as they see it, our women's North American champion Thea Hale, who's awesome, by the way, fucking love her. She's
Oh,
bringing out the timeless out of Blake Monroe.
she's so
They're
good.
gonna have another fight. I hope. Okay, I know it was a mistake, and I know it wasn't supposed to happen, but now that it's happened, and now that it's gotten the reaction that it's gotten, and the people that are behind Thea Hale are behind Thea Hale,
Yeah.
and she's super endearing in much in the same way, like I said before, like the Maxine Dupree thing is like, I didn't think I would ever be here. I don't even know if I belong here, but I'm here now and I'm going to make it worth it and I'm going to make a good go of it type of thing. I hope they get over the fact that this happened by accident and I hope they run with it.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Because again,
basically I hope
Blake
I don't
Monroe
wanna take the wings
is
off
weird
yet.
with a yeah, Blake Monroe's kind of weird in the like her character feels like, and I know I said, you shouldn't necessarily always skip the mid card titles, but she's done the mid card title now. She feels like somebody that should be in the main event scene. And once again, as I say, as they sort of clear out the top deck, if they clear out what's it called? Jordan Grace, if they clear out Fatal Influence
Yeah.
and Stephanie and Julia are already long gone, you could have a main event title picture that revolves around Blake Monroe and Tatum Paxley
Oh, absolutely.
because they're both crazy
And
in very different ways. But like, let's break Tatum a bit more and let's let Blake Monroe do this timeless Blake Monroe thing.
right?
I
But
love
hey,
saying it because it winds up the right people.
even with the lack of crazy, if that wasn't even like, they
Mm.
still are doing
Oh,
what?
they're still solid.
That's
They're
what I'm
still
saying. They're
fantastically solid.
but people say, "Oh, that's all they are is the crazy or the
Yeah.
the psych," and I'm like, "No, there's so much." The one thing I wish people could really pay attention to is Tatum's move set, and I know a lot of people
Mhm.
don't like that terminology anymore, but it's true.
I
She has
I
such
like
a unique
her.
offensive
What the hell do
maneuver.
you call her finisher where she basically hooks one arm, one leg, and it's basically like she does a cartwheel and takes you with her.
Yeah, it's like a cartwheel, back bump, DDT, cemetery
Yeah.
drive, right?
I was gonna say, I know somebody else out there, on the indies calls it the cemetery drive. I don't know what Tatum
Yeah.
calls it.
Cemetery drive, cemetery
Um,
gates, something along those lines, but
yeah, because yeah, and here's the thing. This is gonna lead us into the women's world title situation, which is JC Jane taking on the Evolve Women's Champion, Kendall Gray. And again, I'm gonna treat this like a Braun Breaker thing. You could do a holy shit coming from the bottom, now we're here
yeah.
thing with Kendall Gray if JC and company are going up to the main roster and it's not just picking out individuals and whatnot. Kendall Gray, everybody seems to like her already. Everybody seems to like her when I saw her debut, and I'm like, I haven't seen her. But then
Yeah.
again, I haven't been watching Evolve. Are that many people really watching Evolve type of
Uh,
idea, right?
it seems like they've got more surprising numbers than people were willing to admit. Like, it
That's
wasn't gonna
fantastic.
knock down doors, but it was enough to be like,
It's
"It's
enough to
worth it."
not do it
Yeah.
type of idea.
They used to
But
be the
like,
circle trap for Tatum, then she called it the psycho trap.
okay,
That's where
Psycho
she
Trap sounds fun.
yeah. It says a complex maneuver involving a flip dump that lands her on her head as she throws her opponent backwards. Paxley aimed for the
Mm.
cycle trap from the Saws franchise Cycle Trap, but Psycho
Oh,
Trap
okay.
became the adopted name due to mishearing. And it's a unique look. She also does the 450 splash and blah blah blah. But her
You know
moveset
what
is
it
incredible.
passes
So
the test of, like, you know how they say the test is, like, it's not a great finisher if you can't do it on everybody? Like, Batista like, anybody else doing a Batista bomb wouldn't try to do the Batista bomb to the Big Show. Like, I know it's the most lame, lazy example I can come up with,
No, but it
but,
works.
like, you're both on the ground when she hooks you up, so it's a momentum thing, it's not a necessarily a lift. It's why moves like the Diamond Cutter, RKO, stuff like that, Stunner, are great because you can do it to somebody that's 10 foot taller than you can do it to somebody that's smaller than you, heavier than you, lighter than you, and
Yeah.
because
Those
you're
are the
both on the
finishes you
ground.
need.
Yeah, because you're both on the ground, and it's just a really it's intentionally awkward looking so that when you see the other person take the bump, like, they look awkward, so you're like, "Ugh," like that kinda thing.
Yeah. Little
Yeah, that's what you
not
do. You do
judgmental,
it, "Ugh." Just mental.
yeah, just a little bit, you know? Hey, it
But,
works.
yeah. So, there's all of our ladies' matches, and our 1 men's match, which
Surprisingly
is
enough.
gonna be well, I'm sure they'll put something else in the middle somewhere. But it's an interesting one because it's Oba Femi,
Mm.
NXT champion, defending against TNA X Division champion Leon Slater. Now, you go 2 different ways with this. Either you have Oba retain, who's apparently being called up to the main roster, so you bring somebody up with the NXT title, and it would be like shades of either Paige or Kevin Owens.
Yes.
Which is you could do something with that. You could tell a story. You could have, debut on the main roster, then drop the belt, and then what do the people on the main roster say to you without saying, "Hey, you just lost a belt?"
Yeah,
The
exactly,
other way
like
the other way to go is to put the NXT championship on Leon Slater, the X Division champion of TNA.
mm, not the worst
Which I
idea.
would love because I love Leon Slater, but then I would conversely then turn it into where does that leave him and Javon? Because him being an NXT champion would lock him into NXT while he's still in TNA, and his tag team partner is now gone to the main roster.
Yeah, you're just
So
damned if you
I
do.
don't get me wrong, like Leon Slater's fucking fantastic, and I'd be happy for the guy.
Yeah, I
But
mean, I would too,
I
it would be great, but
selfishly, I really do hope I do hope that he's one of the ones that comes over. We're not gonna do the whole, "Oh my god, we're milking every single talent from TNA." A lot of people are saying Moose is coming over from TNA. I don't know that that's a thing, but Leon, I want to come over because I want him and Javon to stay a tag team
yeah, no doubt about
because
it.
them on the main roster, there's
Yeah,
a rumor
I
going around right now that the Hardys are petitioning WWE
yeah,
to do Hardys versus Usos versus New Day
mm,
TLC at
mhm,
WrestleMania.
that sounds
Now,
fun.
that sounds like a lot of fun, but do you remember several years ago when there was a ladder match and the New Day came out at the very last minute to say, "Oh, we've got one more team," and they announced the return of the Hardys.
Yes,
Now imagine the same exact thing happens, and the surprise 4th team in that match is Javon
and
and
I can
Leon.
go on and on. Yeah, exactly, and I'm trying to think. I was gonna ask you a different question about this
I
too,
bet
and
you
I
were.
I lost my thought mid-sentence. Damn myself, it's one of those days. Um, it'll come back to me. I apologize, but yeah,
But you get what I mean, though, like, whoever
I
wins this match, it's weird.
yeah, no matter what the outcome is, I wanted something to branch off of this, now it's gonna bother me, but no matter what, like you said, you're someone that's why I think yet again, this'll be your interference match. Someone's gonna break it up on the
Mm.
outside because beating the X
Okay, but
Division
even still,
champion.
even if it ends with an interference, somebody's leaving with the belt, and
Oh, yeah.
neither guy being the champion makes sense. Because does Oba need it if he's going up? Does
No.
Leon need it if he's still in TNA? Now, what I am thinking of
Yes.
is there's one other person on the NXT roster that people are saying is either gonna be called up or is gonna move from one title to another, and
Hmm.
that's Ethan Page. And
Absolutely.
if you're gonna do a quick turnaround, you could do a historical, "Oh my god, somebody from TNA is holding the NXT title," to make up for Trick holding the TNA title this year.
Yeah.
So if you wanna do it as a nice, like, quick transitional thing, give Leon, like, a month and a half to carry around the NXT championship, and then eventually he loses it to heel shenanigans from Ethan Page. Fantastic story there.
Yeah. Great story. My only
Absolutely
thing is, how
fantastic story
long do
there,
they
yeah.
keep Ethan Page into? Because that'll bring us what? To Stand and Deliver? So that makes sense.
No, because you gotta remember you got Vengeance Day in the middle there.
No, no, I know that, but I'm saying, like, you figure how much time, because if he's champ for about a month and a half, you figure coming off the first week, yeah, that's about the Valentine's. You're right. So
if you give Leon the title to hold for now until Vengeance Day, Ethan Page wins it off of him
Yeah,
at
it is a
Vengeance
great
Day,
story.
and then by the time you get to Stand and Deliver, you've built up somebody.
Whoever,
I would
yeah.
honestly, I would say Miles Bourne.
If not Miles Bourne, then, Shiloh.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe,
I'm
yeah.
down. No, I'd
But
like to see
either
him win a
way,
mid-card title first, but I was just being a
but
wise ass.
either way, like if you so if we the way we're plotting this out right now, do the historical thing. Oh my god, a TNA guy won the NXT title. That person happens to be Leon, who's also the X Division champion, which is like the signature championship of TNA. He gets to do double duty for a month and a half. He loses it to a heel like Ethan. Ethan has gotten his way back up to the top. He's still got Chelsea because they're still the tag champions. He builds himself up as this absolutely obnoxious force in NXT. At the same time, you build up a babyface. Like I'm gonna say once again, Miles Bourne have an ultimate feel good story at Stand and Deliver, oi oi oi, and then the next night on Raw, you have Ethan Page, or the next night on SmackDown rather, you have Ethan Page show up at Chelsea Greenside on SmackDown like he's been there the whole time.
Yeah, no doubt about it, so
We booked the fuck out of a lot of that. 3 shows. We gave
damn
our props to
straight.
Kenny Omega. We've done
What?
some stuff. As we go into 2026, before we sign off, I just want to say it's been a great 2025. Thank you for everything that you've contributed to my channel. Thank you for having me over on your channel with you and Cody and whoever else. I've thanked you privately. I thanked you on the last pod. I'm doing it here right now.
Yet
Thank you, sir.
again,
Couldn't ask for a better co-host.
I cannot thank you enough for the support, unyielding support that you've presented me for, damn near a decade now, and giving me the courage to believe in myself enough to give this thing a shot. And if you recall, like, yeah, we covered Survivor Series together, but then we didn't really do anything for weeks on end until it was NXT's, end of year
Yeah.
show. And then I was like, all right, Netflix, Raw, it's gonna be a big
Look.
show. We'll start there. I'll give it a year. And if I don't
Yep.
see success with it, then hey, we'll just make it for fun. And I got a little lost in the numbers at one point, but I'm like, hey, shit is bound to change, bound to happen. All I have to do is enjoy what I'm doing. And keeping that
Mhm.
mindset is like making it fun. And that's why I love working with you and Cody and Liz and so many others, because it's just effortless. There
Mhm.
isn't a
And I
decry
don't
to
think
be
we've
had.
mentioned it on this channel yet, but you're all official and shit now. You got your YouTube partnership and everything. So go,
Yes,
everybody, go
indeed.
love on Jake.
I'm almost like the full establishment. We're close to hitting the next goal of the
Nice,
4,000 watch hours, and then we
nice,
we get the lovely ads on our channel to count for us, not for just the man. Give me my shekels.
nice. All right.
But
Well, with
thank you
that
so
in
much for
mind,
having me on, and I can't wait to see what next year brings, my good man.
going to be lots of fun, man. It's going to be lots of fun. Everybody, go
Absolutely.
show your love to Jake, and Jake's going to tell you how to do that right now because I am going to say what I always say. Jake, tell them where to find you, buddy.
You can find me and everybody else on YouTube. That's right, youtube.com/Jake DeMarco. Head over there to check out our live reviews of pretty much everything wrestling. And you can find me on Twitter at Countdown Ended and on TikTok. It's into dot somewhere over there. So one step closer to capturing that name. And of course, make sure you go ahead and check out all the friends of the channel in our description box on my page. And until then, Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year indeed. Let's kick the shit out of 2026. You guys know where to find me or you wouldn't be here. I've been Spaz. This has been Jake. We've been talking about, well, fuck tons of stuff. If you haven't been paying attention, that's on you. Subscribe up there, talk down there, start a conversation. Keep all these conversations going. Don't be a stranger. I'll talk to each and every last one of you later. But for right now, me and Super Sexy Jake are tagging out. Bye, guys.
What's your resolution?